Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this youth impact parliament. Grant that it may perform this high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the executive director of the movement. Endow members of parliament with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of this youth parliament, the interests and wishes of members may be well and truly served, and their good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our youth parliament, fair as it might be, a fraternity of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a fraternity of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a fraternity of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving. A fraternity of peace, where the youth parliament shall rest on the will of its members, and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speak the day of the coming beauty of the Youth Impact Parliament and Ghana. Amen. And all members will resume your seat. Honourable members, per our practice, we ought to take the oath now. But I'll take the oath after listening to our guest. In that one accord, we'll proceed to item 2 on the other day. Communication from founders. The founder and his 2 co-founders humbly welcome the House, humbly inform the House of the decision of the Board of Directors of Youth Impact Movement. The Board has upgraded the virtual leadership seminar series to an activity of the movement. This means that the seminar series will no more be held under the umbrella of the Parliament, but under the movement. However, the host of each seminar will be rotational among directors of the movement, executives of the foundation, and leaders of the Parliament. And even some members of Parliament will have the opportunity to host the seminar series. Honourable members with YIMs for funding can link us and then help us with sponsorship. And anyone who has such links can speak to the directorship of the movement, and then it will work done. We need more funding to do greater things. If we have ideas, let's feel free to share the ideas with the directorship of the movement. We wish you a successful sitting. Thank you. Honourable members, we'll move to item 3, communication from Speaker. Honourable members, the second Parliament of Youth Impact Parliament was inaugurated on the 30th of August 2022 at this particular venue. The sitting was graced by the presence of the Speaker of the Volta Regional Youth Parliament, the President of Old Technical University Alumni Association, the Municipal Chief Executive of Home Municipal Assembly, and the member of Ghana's 8th Parliament for Krachi Constituency. The sitting was graced, was successful, and all honourable members present on that day took their oath and appointment letters. As of then, no member of Parliament was sworn in, and therefore, the vote in proceedings cannot record you as absent with permission or otherwise. I wish to encourage members to at least take their oaths and appointment letters in order to be recognized as substantive members of Parliament. MPs confirmed and declared appointment remain as such until they take their oath to become substantive. I wish to remind members that I will not hesitate to refer members who miss the first 3 sittings to the Privileges Committee for investigation and questioning on their consistent absence. And the committee will report to the House after their investigation and recommend whether or not that said member should be booted out of the House and seat be declared vacant, or he should be given an extension period to prove himself worthy and count for his oath. Of course, the House will deliberate on it and take a vote on each member, so to be presented by the Privileges Committee. Once again, I want to remind you all to avail yourself to take your oath. Sign the oath book and take your appointment letters if you are here today as youth MPs of the Second Parliament of Youth Parliament. On behalf of the leadership of the Second Parliament, I happily welcome you all to the second sitting of the first session of the Second Parliament of Youth Parliament, dubbed the Second Parliamentary Sitting. Thank you. Honourable members, we move to item 4 on the order paper, adoption of order paper. Honourable members, the floor is open. In the absence of any submission, can the majority move that the order paper be adopted? And also let me state that in accordance to Order 66 of our standing orders adopted, which is on invited guests, would vary today's order paper to give an opportunity to our special guest in our midst to speak to us right after we adopt the order paper. So I'm doing this on the basis of Order 66, invited guest address and messages. Honorable Kofi Attor is in our midst, and right after we adopt the order paper, the majority leader will read his profile, and he will take the podium and give us his message. Right after that, we'll suspend the House briefly, take some pictures with him outside, and then he can take his leave and we'll proceed with business. That is for your information. Majority leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and others. Mr. Speaker, in the absence of any further addition and subtraction to the order paper, I move for the order paper to be accepted. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Minority Leader Secretary.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The majority leader has actually said it in the absence of all other corrections, Mr. Speaker. I rise a second motion. Thank you.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded for the adoption of the order paper. I now put the question to the House. All members in favour say aye. Aye. Not in favour say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Therefore, the order paper stands adopted as business to be transacted for today's sitting. Honourable members, may I invite the majority leader to kindly read the profile of our special guest of honor in our midst today, and I will respectfully call on him to approach the podium and give to the House his mission.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and others. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity, and I would also like to convey greatest gratitude to our guest of honor, and I would like to plead on the House to be with me whilst I read the profile of our guest this afternoon. Honorable Kofi Attor, as the trade legacy of the days chairman roles to date. He is a lawyer by profession and a founding member of the National Democratic Congress, NDC. He had held several reputable positions both in and outside government. During the days of the Provisional National Defense Council, PNDC, he served as the regional organizer of the Committee for Defense of Revolution, CDR, after which he joined the demobilization. He rose through the ranks of the regional secretary of the National Democratic Congress to the National Deputy Secretary. He was a member of Parliament for Ho Central from 1992 to 2004. He became the chairman on the Committee for Foreign Affairs in Parliament between the year of 2000 and 2004. During the term of ex-president of blessed memory, Professor John Vansatanos, from 2009 to 2014, he was the chief executive officer for the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communication, YIP. A year in the history of the country where Ghana saw a tremendous boost in information communication technology, ICT, and telecommunications sector in general. He was the director of foreign relations in the National Democratic Congress from 2014 to 2020. Currently, he doubles as the National Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, and a special advisor to the Speaker of the Eighth Parliament in the person of Right Honorable Amegashie-Viglo. Honourable members, I present to you guest of honor this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Honourable members, in that one I call on Order 66, may I humbly invite Honourable Kofi Attor, Special Advisor to the Right Honourable Speaker of Ghana's Parliament, to present his message to us.
Okay, so good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Right, the thing that helps me to speak. And Mr. Speaker, I'm glad I'm here eventually. And I'd like to begin with two apologies. One to Jones, because he tried for over 6 months to get me. He sent me also some WhatsApp messages. My advice to him is that he should send me SMS. If I tell you the number of unread messages on this phone, you will not believe it. But of late, I've been doing well. I've been responding to his messages. So, the number 2 apology is to the group, the honorable members of this parliament, because I couldn't make it to the inaugural meeting. There were various attempts to get me, but when I come to home, although I stopped Parliament long ago, I'm still quite busy when I get here, and it was not possible for me to join you on that day. But I heard the Honorable Nochu Kofi was here, the DC was here, so I think that we had a very inauguration. I'd like to congratulate all of you for that. I would just like to propose that if you're going to continue this, try and get people into the gallery. Try and get some of your colleagues to come and listen to what we are doing. It's always interesting when you're in parliament and people are watching and learning. If it means making 1 or 2 announcements on your station, to just bring people here to come and listen to you and also admire what you are doing. I think that will be in order. Yes. So let's look at that subsequently. But I would like to, you see, it's good we are doing a thing like this. Because you see, that is the job of Parliament. We needed to go around to create an awareness about Parliament. which still, after 29 years, Parliament will be 30 years next year. But we still need to understand Parliament a lot more. We need to get our youth to understand Parliament a little more. The truth of the matter is that the first Parliament in Ghana was in 1951. Before 1951, we had what we call legislative something. The governors would choose a few people. But in 1951, an election was held and CPP won 34 out of 38 seats that were available. I'll find time to come and tell you about the political history of Ghana. This is the time you should know where we are coming from. Yes, I'll find time and come and take you from the Diogo de Azambuja in 1497 up to the day that I was speaking. Wow. Although it will all be done in 45 minutes. But you see, that parliament, then Kwame Nkrumah was brought out of prison. He was in prison when his party won. He was actually in prison when he won election in Central Accra and defeated Obiche Lamte's father very miserably. And then he was made leader of government business. That was the first time Africans were allowed to form ministries and start attempting to rule themselves. But let me tell you, we were still under colonial rule. Is that right? It was still under colonial rule under a governor, Adam Clark. So 1952, the title, Kwame Nkrumah's title was changed from leader of government business to prime minister. So that parliament survived with various other elections. There were elections 54, 56, 1960, 1964. There were various elections. But that parliament survived for 15 years, up to February 1966, when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown and parliament was dissolved. So subsequently, the military came for 3 years. They handed over to a second republic under Buzia. That parliament survived only 27 members. Then it was overthrown. Then Kenyan came. They stayed for 8 years. 1979, another election was held. That is the 10th republic. They were also there for 27 members. And then Jerry John Rawlings came on the scene between that 81 up to 1993. So Parliament has had a very checkered history in Ghana. So anytime we begin to build the culture of Parliament and the consciousness of people to know what Parliament is about, is overthrown. This is the only constitution that has survived from 1992 up to this time. And I would like to say that I'm very proud because I was a member of the Consultative Assembly that drew the current constitution. I was there a very young man, not like now. I was part of the 258 people that drew the constitution. And I will come and talk to you also about it later, why this one lasted a lot more than others. So the point I'm trying to make is that we need to build parliamentary culture. We need to have what we are doing like this in other schools. People should emulate what happens in Parliament and develop interest in Parliament, so that at the appropriate time when you really have to go to the real Parliament, it should be something that we have talked about. We need to be coming here to tell you about Parliament, and by the time you finish your sittings, you have a fair idea ahead of your mates who are not doing it. So that is the checkered history of Parliament in Ghana, which enables some of us to think really clearly that you need to be doing a thing like this. So whoever brought the idea and whoever is leading a thing like this, I would like to congratulate you, and I would like to urge you on. But try and involve others. Let them come and listen. I don't know how you get yourselves elected into your constituencies. I just see names with the constituencies against them. As time goes on, we can determine that one. And I'd like to say that I will be available as much as I can. Anytime you are sitting and I need to come and talk to you, there's so much that we should be talking to you people about. Today, I will not talk too much. I'll just take you a little history of Parliament. How did Parliament start? What is the history of Parliament? It started very slowly in the Greek city-states, ancient city-states in Greece. Of course, the Greek Empire, I think, survived the Roman Empire, and it was the British Empire that took over the Greek Empire. And one of the greatest ever in the Greek Empire was Alexander the Great. It was under him that Britain was conquered. Britain, they are on the island, and it was difficult to get to them. All those kings who were heroes in Europe were finding it difficult to get to Britain because they are separated by the sea from Europe. But Alexander the Great succeeded in doing that. But in those ancient days, we had what we call divine right of kings. There were kings, and the kings were everything. They were the law. They were the executive, they were the judiciary, and they were the law, the legislature at the same time. We call it the divine rights of kings. But under some of the kings, particularly in the city-state of Athens, people were allowed to come and petition the king. And in petitioning the king, they were allowed to assemble under trees and discuss the petition. Assemble. And there were 3 qualifications for being under that tree. First, you must be male. So it's for male. In fact, until 1918, women were not voting anymore, not even in the UK. Number 2, you must be adult. And I think adult is, 40 years and above. You must be adult. And number 3, you must be property owning. You must own property. So when some party was calling this a property owning democracy, I don't think they really understood the meaning, the beginning of that word. So you must be male. You must show that you have land or a house or something, and you must be an adult. They are the people who gather under the trees to petition the king. So that was the slow beginning of what we now call Parliament. More people were joining with time. Of course, if you are 39, you are not qualified. The day you are 40, are you not qualified? If you didn't have a house and you are not qualified, the day you acquire one, aren't you qualified? So more people were coming. So they had to demarcate themselves into various groups. They had to demarcate. So they were not elected, but these were people who, by the definition of who should be part of the politics of the time, started this. So that's how come representation started among the people to the kings. But in Britain, it started after 1250. In the second half of the 13th century. I'll come to that again when I'm coming back to talk to you. Otherwise, we're not finished. But again, there were the kings in Britain, and the nobility, the clergy, they could petition the king. But now the commoners, the landowners, and the co also started meeting so that they could also petition the king. And they divided the House of Commons into 2. House of Lords, which still is there. The Lords were the nobility, the top bishops and all that. And the Commons were the landowners and their serfs, their laborers and all that. So there were 2 houses of parliament then and now. Even in Britain, really they will have House of Lords and House of Commons. Okay. So after some struggle, in fact, a king has to be killed in 1666 by one person called Cromwell. We'll come to that. Then Parliament had much more power. The House of Commons then became superior to the House of Lords. when it started, the House of Lords could review or revise or reject whatever came from the House of Commons. But with time, the House of Commons got dominance over the House of Lords. But the House of Lords was still there, like the Supreme Court. It was just 3 or 4 years ago that the function of the highest court of London, of England, ceased from the House of Lords. Yeah, now they have a Supreme Court. But until then, every case ends up in the House of Lords. So that is how it developed in England from time to time until there's what we call the sovereignty of Parliament. The Parliament in England now, the Supreme cannot review anything that they do. Nobody can review, and when they pass a law, that is the law, unless they come and pass another law. So they have become very superior. The House of Lords is still there. They are appointed by the, I was going to say Queen, but from yesterday it's King, isn't it? and they also, they cannot torpedo the laws that are made by the House of Commons. They can delay it, but that delay can only last for 1 year. After 1 year, the majority of members of House of Commons can override what the House of Lords is. So that is how come we have Parliament, particularly in the Commonwealth countries. It's from what I told you from the Greek citizens to what happened in Britain. So when they colonized us, they created what they call legislative councils. Yeah, in 1916, there was Clifford. He created, there was a Clifford Constitution. Legislative council. They pick a few chiefs and a few people who they call intellectual, and then add them to the merchants, the British people who were here. Then 1925, another one by Gosisbeck. I'll tell you more about Gosisbeck later on. Then 1946 by Governor Alan Benz. I'll tell you about Benz later on. It was the Benz one that was resisted by UGCC. Kwame Nkrumah came to Cuba, and they forced an election in 1950, and Nkrumah won, and then they started calling it Parliament. So you see that Parliament has a long history, but it was a history of struggle. There's nothing that you gain in this world on silver platter. If you think it's your right, just go and lie down and wait for somebody to give you your right. You know, that if the thing belongs to you and you don't go for it, somebody else will go for it, or it will not be given to you at all. So that's the history of Parliament as it were, which you should know. It developed from before Christ, and it has survived and gone through a lot of things. In those days, Ghana's Parliament, there were 38 people. Then it became 110. Then by the time we entered Parliament, it was 200. Now it is 275, going on and on and on. 3 different ages are important in Ghana. Number 1, you must be 18 to qualify to vote. Take note of that. And we'll look for those things in the Constitution. 3, the important age is 18. You are 18 and you are considered an adult. But in Ghana, to go to Parliament, you must be 21. So that's the second, yeah, you must be 21. And in Ghana, to become a president, you must be 40. Okay? So if you are not 40, you cannot go and file that you want to become president there. Maybe we need to be looking at that and bringing, because Macron became president at the age 38. There are, in fact, there was this young lady who won in Sweden the other time. It's barely 32. So as the youth population is getting greater and greater, I think we should be looking at that age, and it's important. The last thing I want to talk about are the functions. I will end with the functions because I'm having a meeting at 2. So any minute after 2 years is extra time. Yeah. So the main reason for Parliament is representation. Is that right? You know that in every society there must be laws, and laws must be made by people from the society. But all of us cannot move to Parliament House. I don't know, even stadium cannot contain how many people. So people have to be partitioned into groups and then have to elect their representatives. So anytime we are practicing this democratic system, the members of the parliament, when I'm in parliament and I'm speaking for 110,000 people in whole center. You are supposed to be representing your people because all the people in whole central cannot be in parliament. So representation is a main thing. So like we said, the president represents the state, parliamentarians represent the people. The president represents the state of Ghana. He is the fountain of honor of the state. When we say Ghana should appear somewhere, he goes. But when we talk about the people of Ghana, they are represented by their elected representatives. That is how come what they did to serve, taking a whole group out that they wouldn't be in parliament, is the crime of the century. Is the ultimate sin. We'll come to that also later. So representation is important when we are talking about parliament. But one of the main functions of parliament also is to talk. There should be a place where we can vent our feelings. We can talk about what is happening in the country. There should be, those of you who have done some little French, parler in French means speak, talk. So the name parliament is actually coming from that word, that's the root word, the fact that people must gather and talk. You see? So parliament gives the opportunity to all constituencies to be represented and their members to speak on their behalf. There are two instruments that we use in parliament for talking. One is statements. You make a statement in parliament. For instance, when I got to parliament, those days, there was no water here. I tell them I was water was the hottest commodity in home. Power in Matthew to home. But there was no power in our villages. I come from TEZA President. There were no, from Ho, they took it straight through Pandoto. They were connecting district capitals, not the people. So we needed to be making statements. The regional hospital that we have now was not there. In fact, it was inaugurated in the year 2000, when I was now going for my third term. We needed to be making statements about water. I remember at the point people in Ho demonstrated in buckets, and they were drowning in buckets and they needed water. I remember we had the old hospital, the mortuary collapsed, and then when people died, we have to find Piki or Keta or something. There were all these problems. So we were faced with making statements. What you do is that you raise an issue in your constituency, and then others support it. The speaker then will either give a directive or conclude it in a way. So it's a statement. The statement is to draw attention, and we always hijack. Somebody can say that there's no water in Techiman, then Kofi Attor gets out. Oh, very good. There's no water in Techiman. There's no water in Ho also. So somebody also hijacks. This happens with statements. So that's one instrument we use for parley, to talk and discuss issues. When the Black Stars win, or they lose, when the whatever. So that is one. Number two is motions. I'm sure you know what a motion is. That is urging the speaker to take action. So motion is different from statement. And in bringing out a motion, you must get a seconder. You must, somebody, if you move a motion and nobody seconds it, it falls flat. It completely is like 10 times 0 is 100 times 0 is 0. So motion times 0 is 0. So the motion is a more serious. So when you are bringing something, you must be sure that it's a motion or it's a statement. It's a more serious way, because after a motion, there's a vote. Nobody votes after statements. You are just doing attention. Our rules are bad. They have been so-called rule for 6 years. We hope that it will not take 10 years. You can make such a statement. But if you want to call on government to make sure that secondary road is made before December, that is a motion. And then you must have a full debate. Statements, some statements are not even debated, particularly when they are coming from government. They are just by way of information. Minister of Health can come and talk to us. If one or two people may say something, but some motions are debated for 3 days. Is that right? And the ultimate reason for motion is that speaker should give a direction. So when the eyes have it, when the motion is moved, I remember this motion about seat belt when we were in our first parliament, because too many people were dying carelessly because they simply do not know that the seat belt in the vehicles are not for decoration. Yeah. So one lady moved a strong motion urging the Ministry of Transport. I remember Salia then, may he rest in peace, he's dead now. And then we debated, and virtually everybody agreed, and then the motion was moved, and the question was put, and the ayes had it. So when it happens that way, the speaker directs the clerk to write on the authority of the speaker to the minister that this thing must, shall, using the words I'm using, not may. Okay. When we are doing this, we must know the difference between may and shall. Yeah. When we say shall, compulsory, you don't have any choice. When we say may, it's to your discretion. You may want to dress up here or come here without any test. We'll still accommodate you. So that is the second instrument for debate or for speaking. And that one, like I said, so all motions, like the budget, like all serious things from government, come by way of motion. Me, this is the first time I've seen that a budget review was done and the minister said it's not a motion, it's a statement. He didn't want the vote. He didn't know the way the vote would go. But so between statements and motions, a lot of things happen. But when we are making the statement, we must be sure that is relevant, particularly to people. When we were in Parliament, GBC was the only radio station, and 15 minutes after 6 o'clock news, they read what today in Parliament. Okay. Yes, and I mean, those of us who are quite talkative, almost every day we hear our names. I'll give you some experience I had. You know, because before we got to Parliament, some of us were already political activists, as we were told, from PPC, CDR, we were in some various socialist groups. Now, around 94, South Africa was getting to become independent. We spent all our youth doing demonstration. People don't do demonstration these days. Against apartheid, against new colonialism, fascism, every day. We move from Lagos, go to international students hostel where the foreign affairs ministers are, because students from South Africa, Namibia, and Co were there. We give them placards and we are on the street. Then 94, South Africa was going to be independent because Mandela was released from jail in 1990, and then they started the meetings. Now, everybody knew that Mandela would become the president of South Africa, but everybody did not know who would become the vice. Apart from ANC, there was also PAC, Pan-African Congress, African National Congress. There was also the Communist Party of South Africa, and the leader of the Communist Party was called Chris Hani. Young, intelligent, everybody. So everybody knew Mandela would make Chris Hani his running mate, isn't it? But the whites were afraid of a communist man because they are saying, "Go, leave. After independence, we don't want you here." So do you know what happened? He went jogging one day, they ambushed him and shot him dead. Just as in 94. So we were alarmed, particularly the progressive world was very alarmed. I made a very powerful statement in Parliament praising Chris Hani, condemning imperialism, fascism, you know, all the isms that are not good. Condemn all of them. And that statement was given airplay almost 10 minutes. Because that was the position of Ghana. And from my socialist friends, I was the toast of the week. Those days, the mobile phone that those things were not there. We grew up into something that we didn't have. I was doing organizations from Accra to Ho up to the year 2000 without a mobile phone. Now, you can't even imagine when any of you leaves the mobile phone in his dormitory, now you go back for it. But we were without it. Whites were pleased. So I made Chris Hani's statement, and my head was so big it could fill this room. When everybody was praising me, Kofi Attor, oh, you are the ultimate. You are the... Then I came to Ho at the weekend. I was expecting hallelujah chorus. But those days I was doing something. I don't know whether the MPs still do it. Almost every weekend I meet the youths. I was meeting the youths in YMCA or World Vision. You know World Vision down there at Kofi or YMCA. I was having regular meetings. In town, I would go to Ahmad, but the youths, like groups of, I met the youths. After I told them all that was happening in Parliament, somebody gets out to say, you, Kofi Attor, there's no water here. The roads are not good. Even the road to your village is not motorable. And you got an opportunity in Parliament, and you are talking about dead communists. A dead communist in South Africa. What? Are you okay? Oh, my big head became very small. Or otherwise, it wouldn't have come back to this size. I mean, you see I'll come and talk to you later on I have so many things to talk to you about, but now I have to about the pressures that are on MPs. When you are in Parliament, your own views, the views of your constituents, the views of your party, and the views of the nation, which one takes precedence over which? We come and talk about it. When you are in Parliament and there's a battle, are you thinking about the nation? Are you thinking about the party which sent you there with whips waiting for you? We'll talk about the whip system also. But you are thinking about your constituency which voted for you, or your own views, because before some of us, before we got to Parliament, our views were made up. Views were made up. So those pressures, whilst the international community was hailing one Kofi Attor for delivering a very powerful statement, the whole community was saying, well, you don't have a communist who died. Not even here, in South Africa. What has it been for? So that if you are going to those statements and you have to balance it, I would like to be closing here. The last issue is about the other function of Parliament, which is supervision. Parliament is supposed to supervise. So there are committees in Parliament. Each ministry has its relevant committee in Parliament. Okay, so Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I chaired Foreign Affairs Committee for a long time, not 2004. 2001, I was already in opposition. So I was sitting this way, and I was a ranking member. But before then, up to 2000, I was a chairman, very big man. I had lunch with Clinton and breakfast with Attor. And shook hands with the Queen. Because when the Queen came to Ghana in 1999, only 5 of us really entered the Speaker's office to shake his hands. The rest we not. We have done all that, but when we lost, when we lose, we are like, we are here. But yes, so it's important that Parliament supervises. That is one weakness of our Parliament, and we'll talk about that also later. Because if you have ministers also coming from the same Parliament, and they are also on committees, how far, how soon, how strong are you to be able to oversee what they are doing? And our Parliament is making beautiful laws. Our Parliament is making good statements. They are doing good motions, and they are representing us well. But the supervisory, like what is happening in Lands Department, also. What is the role of Parliament? We have Public Accounts Committee and all that. Those are the things that our Parliament still has to do more. And when I come again, we will talk about the structures of Parliament. We'll talk about the Speaker. We'll talk about the clerks. We'll talk about the whips. We'll talk about the committees, the structures that make Parliament and how important they are. We'll talk about leadership of Parliament. What is their role? Majority, minority. What is their role? We'll talk about the whip system, and we'll talk about the committees. So you see that we have a lot to talk about. But for today, I would like to just end up here. Tell you this is a good thing you are doing. Don't let it affect your cause, because that's also most important. But bring a lot of people in and be committed to what you are doing, because the future is you people. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, on behalf of the House and leadership, I would like to convey the sincerest gratitude of the House to Honorable Kofi Attor, former Member of Parliament for Whole Central Constituency and currently Special Advisor to Right Honorable Hon Jones Amegashie-Viglo, the Speaker of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. Honorable members, respectfully, as I hinted you when we were adopting the other paper, would like to suspend the House and take some pictures with our Honorable before we come back and proceed with business. So on that note, Honorable members, business is accordingly suspended for 5 minutes. Honourable members, I welcome you back to our sitting and we'll proceed to item 6. Item 5. So we have to start with item 5. Official introduction of members. So I'll start and then we'll go straight to the minority and then to majority. So I'm Jones Amegashie-Viglo, the Speaker of Parliament. Minority, continue the introduction for us.
Thank you very much, the Speaker and the August House. I go by the name of Kofi, the minority leader for this August House, and the MP for the Ablikwa South Constituency. What does body want to report?
Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and August House. Mr. Speaker, the minority leader is yet to be sworn in, so he can't carry himself as such. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, I think it's important we do that exercise first. So we'll take the oath. We'll take all the oaths first before we kickstart the introduction again. All MPs are supposed to introduce themselves, their name, position, and their constituency. So, honourable members, we'll take the oaths. If you are yet to take your oath, if you are a youth MP, please be outstanding as I swear you will. When I say aye, then you bring your name. And then, after the second youth impact parliament,
Deal with you spiritually.
you bring your constituency. So just go ahead in that sense. So honourable members, proceed. I, having been appointed a youth member of Parliament of Youth Impact Parliament, do in the name of the Almighty God swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Youth Parliament as by law established, and that I will uphold the integrity of the House and YIM, and that I will faithfully and consciously discharge my duties as a Member of Parliament of Youth Impact Parliament for your constituencies, and uphold, preserve, protect, and defend the standing orders of Parliament and the Constitution of the movement, and that should I at any time break, this oath of office, I shall submit myself to the laws of this house and suffer the penalty for it. So help me God. Honourable members, I humbly declare you substantive youth MPs of the Second Parliament of Youth in Parliament. Honourable members, order in the House. So we'll proceed with the official introduction of members. I am Jones Amegashie-Viglo, Speaker of Parliament. Let's continue.
Thank you very much, Speaker of the August House. Kofi is the big minority leader for the August House, and then the MP for the Lagos South Constituency. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I'm here for the Deputy Minority Leader and the MP for Krachi North Constituency.
Francis Koji, MP for Congress.
Charles Kwame Enomako, MP for Asogli South.
Your home file.
Believe I was MP for Akinsi.
My name is Krachi. I'm MP for West.
I'm Professor Peace SRC, Second Deputy Speaker, MP for Sept.
I'm Roger.
Adam Osman, MP for Kofi.
Stanley MP for Madina.
Mr. Speaker, please I take another problem. On the sheet, it was written with YIP. On the other, how do you call it?
I don't even know you. What's your name?
Mohammed Amin Abdulaziz.
Which constituency?
Akwetia.
Abutia. Hey.
Akwetia.
Abutia.
How can you be a
Oh, so you are saying you are supposed to be part of which caucus?
I don't actually know, because on the sheet, it was written that I was part of the majority, but
Wait, the attendance is not that accurate, so check the brochure or check today's other pamphlet. That is where the accurate information is.
Thank you very much. You can't move.
I'm Mohammed Amin Abdulaziz, MP for Akwetia.
Good. At least Mohammed. Salamat. You get salamat.
Please continue the introduction. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Innocent Donald Asogli, MP for Krachi North. Thank you.
Thank you. I respond to the name Hon Jones Amegashie-Viglo, MP for Kofi Constituency and the Chairperson for Internal and External Affairs. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Sharif Nadozi, MP for Kofi.
Okay, I respond to the name Emmanuel, MP for Kede.
Michael Corey was saying MP for Akwakwa.
Owen Delana Bambadi, MP for America.
My name is George Semavia, MP for Itua West.
Which one is your group?
Honourable member, please withdraw that statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I humbly withdraw the statement.
Please proceed with the introduction.
I am Reader of Asogli, MP for the Demise.
I'm a Nosiru, MP for Okere Constituency. Ofeyima Obi, Majority Leader for Legislative Constituency.
Thank you very much, Mr. Directors. My name is Hon Jones Amegashie-Viglo, MP for Untitled Constituency and Majority GP. Thank you.
Thank you, right, Honorable Speaker. I respond to the next member, the Deputy Majority Leader, the MP for Kenyan Constituency. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, Mr. Speaker, I respond to Madina, MP for the good people of Mingo Constituency, ably represented by Honorable Sam Jata George and the Majority Leader. This is semi-majority leader. I have the Majority Leader. Thank you very much.
So, let's know the person's, the correct table, the table of this. Just give us a quick introduction of this. And then after that, the marshals will do and then we'll proceed.
And their relationship status.
Honorable, please be in order. Please let's proceed.
Reynolds, withdraw your statement. You should withdraw your
My name is Frederick Opatisiba and I'm the chair of the house. I'm Grace Kampali and Deputy Clerk of Operations. I'm Diana Matimosi, MP for Lower Western Keys, acting as secretary. I'm Majufe, MP for Ablekuma Central, and I'm acting clerk.
And then the marshals, please introduce yourself for the camera. The marshals and the deputy marshals. It's very important that we capture you. You see how to do it in front of the camera. So come in front of the camera.
I'm Sinesta, Deputy Marshal.
I'm Paul Oju, Deputy Marshal.
Chief Marshal.
I respond to the name Enoch Nyajo, the Marshal for YIP.
Chief Marshal. Chief Marshal.
Honourable members, so that is it for the introductions. From here, we'll go straight to item 6 on the other paper, Posts and Proceedings of the First Parliamentary Sitting. Please, we don't have adequate copies, so please, just please let the leaders have it, then the others will use the soft copies on the page. So please, I share the soft copy on the page. I share the soft copy on the page. So if you don't have a physical copy, you can just watch the one on the page. Yes, Honorable, you want to? Okay, let me hear you. Microphone, please give him the microphone. Honorable Usman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want you to put your notice that an honorable member who is supposed to be seated among the minority caucus is seated at the minority caucus.
Who exactly is?
I'm talking about Mohammed Amin Abdulaziz, MP for Abuja.
Okay, so he is supposed to be part of the majority caucus.
Minority.
Okay, what did you check from?
I checked from.
Yes, so please kindly move to the designated caucus. So, honorable members, the votes and proceedings. Honorable members, please take note that the votes and proceedings are not subjected to motions and questions. At the end, it is the Speaker that declares them as true records of that sitting. So, honorable members, we take it page by page, take corrections, and then we'll have matters arising. Honorable members, votes and proceedings of the first sitting of the first session of the second Parliament of the YIP Parliament held on Saturday, 13th August 2022. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Honorable members, matters arising from the votes and proceedings. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Yes, Honorable Sir, please use the microphone.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I respond to the names of the Mr. Speaker, I believe we are going through a vital document of this House.
Yes, please.
So please, the rate at which you're moving is too fast. Please just take your time and then let's go through it one after the other. I don't think anyone over here is in a hurry. Thank you.
Honorable Member, we shared the soft copy 2 days ago. We shared the soft copy on the parliamentary page 2 days ago. So I believe whoever wanted to make a correction or raise a matter should have equally gone through all this time.
Mr. Speaker, I still believe that you just take your time so that we go through it, because the soft copy might be shared, I might read through. Mostly, sometimes when you read slides, you don't get anything unless you get hold of the hard copy. So just take your time and let's go through, please. It's a vital document of this House. Thank you.
No problem. So take matters arising in correction at once. Page 1. Page 2. Okay, Honorable Sept.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker House. As stated earlier, I respond to the names of the member of the MP for Constituency. Mr. Speaker, before we move to page 2, page 1, this is a cover page, okay? The fonts and then the logo, I think, is too big, so I think we should just reduce the font size to an actual official font size. Thank you.
Noted. Honourable members, page 1. Page 2. Page 2. Page 3. Honorable Salomon.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. The name still remains Salomon. Mr. Speaker, taking a closer look at the document, I will just make this correction which is supposed to cut across. I believe punctuation is one of the things that we should take important a keen look at in the document and realize most of the sentences, one way or the other, is not probably punctuated. Some of them do not even have punctuation at all. So,
can you cite one example?
I'll move to page 6. I'm just.
We are on page 3.
Yes, I'm making the statement at once.
Please talk on page 3.
Okay, fine. Let's go. Majority.
Thank you. Honorable members, page 3. Page 4. Page 4. Page 5. Yes, Honorable Sir.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker in this House. The name still remains Salomon. Then we forget the Constituency. Mr. Speaker, under vote of proceedings number 1, point B, the clerk to the Parliament took the chair as acting chairperson. I don't know whether the sentence is still continuing or is ending or whichever way it is. So please probably punctuate it. Thanks, God. When you get to 2, under point C, Speaker nominee Jones Amegashie-Viglo declared elected without debate. I don't know whether that sentence is still continuing. If we never want to continue this, it will take the whole day. As stated earlier, I wanted to just make it once and for all.
No problem.
Let's take your quotations here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well noted. Table of estate notice. Page 5. Page 5. Page 6. Page 6. Page 7. Page 7. Honourable members, in the absence of any further submissions or deliberations on the vote and proceedings, the vote and proceedings of the first sitting of the first session of the Second Parliament, held on Saturday, 13 August 2022, are hereby recorded with all the amendments as true reflections of proceedings of that day. Honourable members, we move to item 7, official report of the first parliamentary sitting. Honourable members, the minutes were recorded, but unfortunately, it was not prepared to be presented today. However, the office of the clerk has assured me that it will be available for consideration at our third parliamentary sitting. So that is for the notice of the House. So on that note, the official report of the first parliamentary sitting is accordingly deferred to the third parliamentary sitting. Honourable members, we move to the next part of the sitting, commencement of private business. Order item 8 on the order paper. Questions? Honourable opportunity to ask it. If you are curious, whatever questions that you have. In this house, what we call any other matters are private business, and we take it before public business. So if you have any question to ask, this is the opportunity to ask it. Any questions? I believe there are no questions. So, honourable members, we'll move to item 9 on the order paper. Statements. Honourable members, I have admitted 6 statements to be read to the House today. As Honourable Kofi Attor has encouraged us, that is an instrument of speaking in the House. So I have admitted 6 statements. I will take the first one. Statement on the election of Right Honourable Alban Sumana Kingsford, Speaker of the 8th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, as President of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and it will be given to us by the Honourable Member of Parliament for Afram Place North. These statements will be given at your sitting places. So let's give him the mic. You'll be outstanding and you will read the statement to us. Honourable Believer Goso, do you have any question?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Believer Goso, MP for Accusation. Mr. Speaker, sorry to bring you back. When I check on the incomes and expenses.
Honourable, we have not even gotten there yet.
You said any other?
No, we have it item 11. Item 11. So when we get there, we'll speak on it. Yes. So let's hear the Honourable MP for Afram Place North deliver his statement to the House. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I always ask myself these questions anytime I realize that most of our leaders are well recognized outside this country than they do in our country here in Ghana. And I always say, is it that they do well outside our country than they do in Ghana? Is it that we don't recognize their hard work here in Ghana? Or is it because they are own people? Mr. Speaker, this came to mind again, realizing that most of our presidents were once ECOWAS presidents. And to talk about the newly elected president for CPA, Commonwealth Parliamentary Association International. Mr. Speaker, he is in the person of Right Honourable Alban Sumana Kingsford, who was born on the 24th of September 1957 in the western part of Ghana. Honourable Bani is one of the oldest MPs in the Parliament of Ghana since his entry in the year 1992 until his exit in 2021. Honourable Bani held a lot of political positions such as Minister, Majority Leader, and Second Deputy Speaker before being elected as the Speaker of Parliament on the 7th of January 2021. Right Honourable Sumana Kingsford, the Speaker of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana, is the new President of Commonwealth Parliamentary Association International, CPA. He was anonymously elected the President of the CPA, an organization of over 180 member parliaments of the Commonwealth of Nations. At the just ended 65th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference, CPC, hosted by Canada in Halifax, Speaker Bani, before becoming the newly elected president, was Vice President of the CPA. An opportunity has been given to us once again as Ghanaian as President of the CPA. Ghana has been given the opportunity to hold the 66th Conference of the CPA in Accra from the 30th of September to the 7th of October 2023. The election of Right Honourable Alban Sumana Kingsford as President of the CPA makes him the head of the CPA, and he will preside over the next CPC in Ghana, whilst also serving as the chair of the election committee of the association. He is also a member of the executive committee of the association, among other roles and duties bestowed on him constitutionally. As a Ghanaian and a youth, I want us to appreciate our leaders for their efforts and also want to plead with our leaders to play their roles within the country just as they do outside Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. God bless us and God bless our home in Ghana. Thank you.
Honorable members, the floor is open for comments on the statement delivered by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Frank Placement. Are there any comments? Yes, the Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity given me. The name is Kofi, Minority Leader for the Second House. Mr. Speaker, I think in one way or the other, the Ghanaian youth are watching the endeavors of our leaders. To be sincere, the news reaching my ears inspired me to aspire for greater works. And I believe that almost everybody here, after listening to the statement delivered by my honorable member over here, will see that indeed, if our leaders are aspiring to get to greater heights, then we shouldn't just stay relaxed at whatever position that we currently are. Being appointed currently as the chairman of the CPA, I think it's an achievement that at least has placed Ghana on a map that is recognized worldwide. And so I want to use this opportunity to encourage all of us, all MPs over here, to take this endeavors to actually aspire for more and reach greater heights. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Minority Leader. Honourable members, any comments on the statement? Okay. Since there are no comments, indeed, we are happy that the Speaker of Ghana's Parliament is President of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. It's a plus for us that our Speaker is being accredited as the head of that association, because all Commonwealth nations have their speakers in that. And this is a good opportunity for us all, and then I think we should be one with our Speaker and support him the little way we can. At least we can boast that we have the ECOWAS chairman in Ghana, the President of CPA in Ghana. That is good. So on that note, on behalf of Youth Impact Parliament and also Student Speakers Caucus, which is a gathering of all student speakers, I want to convey the gratitude of both groups to Right Honorable Albans Manakis Bagwin, the parliamentarian of the decade, and Speaker of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. And also want to thank the deliverer of the statement, the Honourable Francis Koji, Youth Member of Parliament for Afram Place North, for delivering a good statement. Honourable members, we proceed to the next statement to be given. We will now have a statement on the sudden demise of the Municipal Chief Executive for Krachi East Assembly of the Republic of Ghana, to be given by the Youth Member of Parliament for the Krachi South Constituency.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. May I be permitted to use the already established protocols to deliver my statement. Since we are talking about the sudden demise of the statesman, if Mr. Speaker will permit me, may we observe a moment of silence.
Yes, please proceed.
Alright, Mr. Speaker, this is a statement on the sudden demise of the Krachi East MC. Mr. Speaker, the late Krachi East MC was called Honorable Francis Kofi Ochesu. He was born and bred in the then Oda region, now Oti region. His origin is shared among Krachi, Inaugural, and Attor, both in the Krachi East and the Constituency South constituencies, respectively. Honorable Francis Ochesu completed YIM Senior High School. He proceeded to the Takrady Polytechnic and then ended at the KNUST, where he studied computer and electrical engineering, respectively. Prior to his appointment as ME, he served as prior to his appointment as MC, he served as a secretary and communication director of the NPP, and he served the state as a PRO of the NHIS of the Krachi municipality. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to know that the late Francis Ochesu was one of the few MCs who was given 100% endorsement by the assembly members after his appointment. This should tell you how the people had him at heart and the kind of personality the Krachi East municipality has lost. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Francis served in the position as MC for 1 year before sudden Demise. The MC was reported dead on Sunday, 4th September 2022. He was found dead in the hotel in Kumasi, Ejiso. Information gathered so far came from his family, PA, his driver, and the hotel where he was found dead. Mr. Speaker, according to the aforementioned sources, Honorable Francis Ochesu left the municipality to Kumasi with his driver with their official car. The driver and his boss both lodged in different hotels. The night before he passed away, the driver and his boss went to the driver's hotel together. The driver then alighted and handed the keys to the MC, who drove off to where he was lodging. The next morning, the driver tried reaching his boss, but he couldn't get responses from the boss. He decided to wait for the boss to return his calls. But somewhere in the afternoon, he did not get a response, so he decided to trace his boss. But the driver, who did not know his way too well to the hotel where his boss was lodging, set into the town of Kumasi, trying to find his way to the hotel. Lo and behold, somewhere in the evening, he got to the hotel and saw the car. So he got to the receptionist trying to find out if his boss was around. Then he was informed that his boss, since he came the previous night, has not been out. So they decided to knock the door. For several times they knocked, they had no responses. So they decided to call the manager of the hotel to come and use the staircase to open the door. When they tried the staircase, it appeared the door was locked inside. So the manager said they cannot open the door forcefully without the presence of any security. So they had to bring in the police to open the door. So when the police came in, they forced the door open and then they found the MC lifeless on the bed. Mr. Speaker, as I speak, the body has been conveyed for autopsy, and the result of the autopsy is yet to be revealed. However, Joy News, Daily Guide, among others, have published some unscrupulous headlines that the people of Krachi East municipality find unwarranted. Hence, they should be given the needed and utmost disregard, because as we speak, the person who is late is a statesman, and the state is supposed to issue an official statement giving the cause of his death before any official notice from any media house can go out. So as we speak, we don't know the cause of his death yet, and whatever is in the circulation should be given the necessary disregard until the Ghana Health Service brings the results of the autopsy. Until then, the people of Krachi East municipality are still in deep shock and are mourning their beloved. We pray that his soul rests in perfect peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much for you family. Honourable members, the floor is open for comments on the statement. The floor is open for comments on the statement. Honourable members, the floor is open for comments on the statement. Honourable members, in the absence of any comments, yes, Honourable Reynolds.
Bring your mic.
Thank you for the opportunity. I have a comment on my own statement. I actually learned something when I was gathering the information for this particular statement. When you go somewhere with anyone, no matter how secretive you want to be, there should be someone who should know where you are at a particular time. Because if you ask me, if the late MC was shot dead, by now we know. If he was poisoned, by now we know. What is keeping the results of the autopsy? We should be learning from it. So no matter how secretive you are, there are certain speculations I don't want to go there, but I want to give a scenario and then everybody should learn from it. Sometimes when somebody goes out somewhere, you try covering up for the person. You want to look good when the person comes back. I'm telling you, you are endangering yourself. Especially when you have a roommate, maybe you are a guy, you are a lady, your roommate is going out with somebody you don't want another person to know. You lie, she's not here, she's there. I tell you, when the person goes there and does not come back, wherever you lie that the person went to, you come and take it. So those of us trying to be good, when he's gone to another girl, you say he's gone to this place. When she's gone to another guy, you say, one day when he goes and he does not come.
Then that's it.
One day when he goes and he does not come. So let's try as much as possible to be honest. It will be good when in such situations you don't say anything at all. It will be very good in such situations. You don't want to reveal the secret. It will be good if you don't say anything at all. But when you continue lying, one day, as it is happening, now we are trying to find out what to do. I hope it comes out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable MP. Yes, Honourable Francis Oji. Microphone, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank my brother for his powerful statement. And then also, before I give my comments, I want to let him know that if you want to give us certain advices out of the business, that should be done behind the scene. Thank you. And my comment on the statement he gave is that sometimes we try to be very secretive in doing our things, and it ends up leading us to very dangerous things that we might not know. Probably the DC might be safe if someone were to know where he is. But then, because of that secret life, some of us try to live, and that is how it can end. So I just want to say that we should all learn from this. Thank you.
Hello, honourable members. Let's hear from Honourable Stanley. Microphone, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a question from the comments for the statement. According to the honourable member who brought up the statement, he said the honourable MC went out with the driver in an official car, while nobody knows where he was. So the question is, was he sent on an official duty or he went out of official car for his own personal business because he was supposed to buy fuel in his own car? That's the question.
Since this question is directed to the giver of the statement, I'll allow him to comment to it and then we'll finish up with this statement. Honourable members are reminded that they should always sign attendance at the table over there. Yes, please.
Thank you very much for that question. I've actually carried that question off my head since I was gathering the information. Yes, so what I was told when I asked the same question was that the reason for which the MC and his driver went to Demise is yet to be revealed. Because I asked the question, the time the MC was leaving the confines of the region, all other MCs and DCs were at post. I asked that question. So, for what reason did they go? And what I was told is that when the autopsy result is out, the reason for which the MC was there and what killed him would come. That's what I was told.
Thank you very much for clarifying. Honourable members, yes indeed it is sad. Honourable Michael, you want to comment on this? Honourable members, I'm very sorry but we can't hear all comments on the particular statement. I'm very sorry for that. We have all other statements and business to do. But we have four more statements to hear. I'm very sorry. Honourable members, yes, please, no four more please. Honourable members, yes indeed we are sad to hear the demise of the young MCE. Municipal chief executives are representatives of His Excellency the President and their municipality, and then they administrate the municipal from there. He just assumed office just for about a year, and then upon holding such high reputable state office has passed on. It's a sad news, and I don't think it is something for us to celebrate. This is something for us to learn. For whatever reason he went there, we don't know. But let us all be careful. The world is becoming increasingly dangerous these days. So I want to encourage you all to be careful. Honourable members, in that one accord, I would like us to observe some seconds in memory of him, some seconds silence in memory of the Honourable MC. Let us rise. May the soul of the Honourable Municipal Chief Executive of Krachi East Municipal Assembly rest in the bosom of the Almighty God. Amen. Honourable members, we'll proceed to the third statement. The third statement is to be given by the Honourable UFMP for Ketu South, and is on the Asogli Festival. He will give his statement over here. Yes, please come here. So we'll receive the Honourable UFMP for Ketu South to give a statement. Ketu North. Okay, I will stop. Honourable UFMP for Ketu North to give a statement on the Asogli Festival. Microphone to you, please.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity. Statement on TEZA of the people of Asogli State to be delivered by Honourable Innocent on Sunday, September 11, 2022 at World Technical University, SRC JCR, during the second sitting of the first session of the Second Parliament of Youth Impact Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, I bring you warm greetings from the people of Curtin North Constituency and they wish you well in your new leadership role as the Speaker of this August House. And also success in Second Parliament of the Youth Impact Parliament. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of this August House, all protocols duly observed, ladies and gentlemen, good day. Mr. Speaker, I am highly honored to have the privilege to be the one to deliver this statement on the YIM Festival, TEZA, of the people of Asogli State. TEZA is annual festival celebrated by the people of Asogli State. But Mr. Speaker, before I speak on this particular festival, I would like to brief this August House about the history of Asogli State. Mr. Speaker, Asogli State comprises of 4 traditional setups: Akwempa, Ho, Benwe, and Takla. These 4 traditional setups were founded by the direct descendants of Togbi Kagla, who served as the seat of the paramountcy. Who is also Vota regional capital. The Asogli State Council comprises of Agbogbo, who is the president, paramount chiefs of Akwempa, Gbemu, and Takla, and the 5 divisional chiefs of Ho. The Asogli Traditional Council is now made up of 30 traditional areas. Mr. Speaker, the people of Asogli, like most Ewe-speaking people, trace their roots or origin from a place called Abia Sini in what is now Ethiopia. They migrated with other areas from Abiesini to Oyo in Yoruba land, western Nigeria. From Oyo, they went to Krachi in Dahomey, now called Benin, before settling at Krachi in present-day Republic of Togo in about 15 centuries ago. Mr. Speaker, the people of Asogli naturally dictated the rule of a king called King Agokoli, and under the leadership of Togbi Kagla, they broke through a portion of the fortified walls for all English to escape. Togbi Kagla and his people broke through the wall after softening it through a plan of pouring water against the wall. Mr. Speaker, the conspiracy includes a plan under which the escaping subjects walk backwards out of the wall of the city. The objective was to create the impression that footprints they left were those of people who had entered the city. This confused the king's warriors, and by the time they realized what had happened, most of the Aries had escaped to freedom. Mr. Speaker, the Asogli State is known to be of warriors because of the ancient sword called Grigali. The Grigali is a dagger which Togbi Kagla used breaking through the walls of Krachi. Is a separate sword of the Aries, and it is in the custody of the Agbogbo Mafia of the traditional overlord of Asogli State. Mr. Speaker, TEZA, YIM is called in Ewe as 10. Oral history has it that a hunter on his normal hunting expedition discovered it in the forest. It was during a famine period that instead of taking this newly discovered tuber bone, he decided to hide it in the soil for use some other time. When he later went back for it, to his dismay, the tuber had generated and grown bigger. This was how the cultivation of yam started to date. Mr. Speaker, the celebration of the Yam Festival or TEZA by Ewes were brought down from Mochi in the Republic of Togo, where it is still celebrated. Yam cultivation is a very tedious job, and history has it that in those days some of the people who venture into it do not live to enjoy the fruits of their labor. It was and still is. Therefore, they decide to involve the gods. This means if it's during the day of planting of yam that yam is eaten, then the gods will never test the peel. Diligence was therefore required, and the commission and guardians of the gods of the land and the ancestors' involvement during the entire process from planting through harvesting. Mr. Speaker, during harvest time, which is normally in September, the gods and ancestors are served first with the boiled and mashed yam, normally white and red oil, called baka before any living being tests it. This rite is called jawu. After that, the rest of the mashed yam is eaten as a communal meal, a symbol of unity and reconciliation of families, clans, and the entire community. Mr. Speaker, the TEZA is celebrated with the following objectives. 1. As a thanksgiving to God and also to the gods and ancestors for bumper harvest, and as an occasion to offer prayers for good health and prosperity for all. To foster unity through forgiveness and reconciliation. As an annual stock-taking event for all occupational endeavors, especially farming. To mobilize both human and material resources of Asogli State for job and wealth creation. And the last one is to serve as annual reaffirmation of allegiance by all chiefs and their subjects in the Asogli State to the Agbogbongas too. Mr. Speaker, this year TEZA is still achieving the pride for unity, development, and prosperity. Right, Honorable Speaker, please with your permission, I will briefly speak on this year festival activities lineup. Mr. Speaker, this year TEZA started with the normal pouring of libation and consultation of gods and ancestors, with a lot of sacrifice as directed by the gods. Cleansing were done and reconciliations are made, as well with other traditional practices. Some vacant stools were occupied by the various legitimate owners. Mr. Speaker, a lot of activities were carried out, such as clean-up exercise in Obangwe, the stool house of the Agogomafia of the Asogli State and the surrounding areas. Floats were organized through the principal streets of O Municipal. Exhibition of goods and services by different companies and individuals, live band music and street jams were carried out, as well as bonfire and bobobo dance. Forum and conference were held for developmental project discussions and also workshop and training for entrepreneurship skills. Mr. Speaker, other activities include excursion tournaments, reunion of old students in Asogli State, presentation of awards, especially to the young farmers, which this year's first bus farmer received brand new tricycle, and the second also received a motorbike, and the third one received a tabletop refrigerator, and other farmers were also recognized by presenting a gift to them. A day to the Grand Deba was set aside for chiefs in the Asogli State to pay homage to the overlord, Agogomafia, in his palace at Hobakwe, and it's also used to create opportunity for companies, organizations, families, visitors, and well-wishers to present their gifts. TEZA celebration cannot be completed without Grand Deba. So this year, Grand Deba was held on Saturday, 10th September 2022 at the Jubilee Park. The Deba started around 9:27 a.m. with drumming and dancing from different drumming groups. That arrived earlier than the chiefs. And a few minutes later, invited chiefs and guests started arriving one after the other. Then the Agogomafia, his chiefs and subjects arrived at the park. And the program officially started with prayers in all aspects of worship. Drumming and dancing continued for some time, as well as performing of magic and others. And also, invited guests were given the opportunity to speak, as well as the Agogomafia of Asogli State and the warlord of the Asogli State. Mr. Speaker, I have a privilege to present to you and this August House some of notable leaders who were present at the Deba. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, former President of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Benjamin K. MP for Bo Central, Honorable Samuel Kudetu Abakwa also was there. The High Commissioner of India was there. Lieutenant Colonel Appiah, who is the commanding officer of the 66th Artillery, who regional police commander was there. And also to mention some few traditional leaders. At the Deba, we have the the 14th Agogomafia of Asogli State and the President of the Asogli Traditional Council. We also have Togi Ajina, the 4th, Atalufia to the Agogomafia. And we have other chiefs and queen mothers who were present, just to mention to you. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, this year's Young Festival was successfully celebrated in grand style because for the past 2 years, due to COVID-19, the festival was not held. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of this August House, and all, I thank you all very much for your attention and audience. I also want to use opportunity and medium to appeal to my fellow MPs to help vote for one of my own that is representing the voter region in the ongoing Ghana Most Beautiful Contest. She goes by the name Abigail Ona Akbaka, and with a stage name Ona. Mr. Speaker, my constituency will soon celebrate our own festival known as TEZA. Therefore, I will be very honored to see you in this August house on the Deba Day. My invitation will be passed soon to appropriate platform. Long live Youth Impact Parliament. Long live Youth Impact Movement. Long live Petitions. Long live Ghana. Thank you.
At the end of the private business, we will take our refreshments before we proceed with public business. I want to thank the youth MP for Ketu North for delivering a statement on the Asogli Festival. For this particular statement, I'm stating there are no comments. No comments. Or are there comments? Very good. So, honourable members, honourable Bagaso, please, microphone. Please, one of the deputy marshals will be the pointer so that we can easily be transferring microphones.
Comment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and the Honourable. Please, I have two concerns. One concern is that why do you have an MP from Ho Central and somebody from Ketu North? Giving us updates on different constituencies. Number two, why are we celebrating Yam Festival and still yams are very expensive in the market? Thank you.
Okay, let's hear comments of Honourable Sheriff.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please, just to respond a little to my other honorable. I think Yam Festival is celebrated in Ho, and you say Yam are very expensive. You should ask MP for Mwanta to answer that, because I think the yams are much cheaper over there. Do you get it? And to also add up, or to also bring a comment out, yesterday, our former president, His Excellency John Mahama, was in town, and to tell you the speed they were using yesterday, in fact, if you're on the way, you can collapse. The speed was too much in this small boat. And to tell you, in fact, when they use the speed, and I'm saying this because of my minority members, he's your boss. In fact, the speed he was using yesterday, it was at the market square. And in fact, even birds, mosquito, everything that is on the road will feel that. So you should advise him, next time he's coming to home, he should use a better means of that. Thank you.
Honourable members, order in the house. Honourable members, we are not debating the statement. We are not debating the statement. Therefore, I won't take anything like rebuttals or follow-ups. We have 3 statements coming, and as much as possible, we want to fast-track this. However, let me state that the festival is not a constituency-based activity. It's a religious activity, it is a traditional activity, and spans all over ethnic groups that are connected to that. The honourable member who delivered the statement is more or less like a Tommy, if I may say, and has more information about that. That is why he is giving the comments on that. Number 2, the comment on the price of yam, I leave it for debate on another day.
Exactly.
I leave it for a debate on another day. Because it is an interesting motion that can even be debated on prices of goods. So I beg the House that we debate that on another day. Thank you very much. Honourable members, I want to thank the person who read the statement, the honourable member who read the statement on the Asogli Festival. Traditional activities are inevitable. They are part of us. Wherever you come from, there is a tradition over there, and you must all be proud to celebrate these activities. If in case you were not part, everything was streamed. Majority of the activities were streamed, so you can go and watch it there. And it is very good that we are informed of that. Just to remind the House, Honorable Kofi Attor said statements are information to the House. So this is an information to us all and the general public. In that sense, on behalf of Youth Parliament, we want to congratulate Attor for championing this celebration, and then all chiefs and traditional councils associated with this. Tradition is always part of us, and we must embrace it at any time. Honorable Innocent Amegashie-Viglo, thank you very much for the statement. Honorable members, we'll move to the next statement, which is a statement on the Kenyan new president and Parliament. This statement will be read by the youth MP for Akropong. Where is he? Yeah, so just come forward a little bit and then read it for us. So he read the statement on the new Kenyan president and Parliament. Honourable members, just to remind you, statements have a deadline. When you don't take them early, they become irrelevant. So it is important that we take all these statements. And then, Honourable, please proceed and read your statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Statement on His Excellency William Ruto, Kenyan President-elect. On August 15, 2022, the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, Wafula Chebukati, announced the result of the Kenyan presidential election. Kenyan Deputy President William Ruto is now the country's president-elect after he was declared the winner of last Tuesday's presidential election amid dramatic scenes in the capital, Nairobi. Before Wafula Chebukati, the chair of the Kenya's Electoral Commission, could announce Ruto's victory, protesters attempted to dismantle the podium and stage dress before royal police eventually calmed proceedings. As a boy, Ruto grew up on his family's farm in a quiet village in the Rift Valley, selling chicken from a roadside store to make money. In his presidential campaign, he tapped into those roots, touting himself as a hustler Kenyan who pulled himself out of the poverty and into the country's corridor of powers. Ruto, who has served as a deputy president since 2013, pulled off a stunning defeat against his chief opponent, veteran politician Raila Odinga. The 55-year-old will become Kenya's fifth president since the country declared independence. His party, Kenya Kwanza, meaning Kenya's first, has also won a majority of seats in the Kenyan Senate, that's the upper house of the parliament. It was through church leadership at the University of Nairobi that Ruto got his first stage in politics, meeting and campaigning for former President Daniel Arap Moi in the 1992 elections. According to local reports, Ruto said in April that His Excellency, the former President Daniel Arap Moi, identified me from the university where I was a worship leader and took interest in me. He introduced me to politics, groomed me, and inculcated in me the culture of servant leadership. Udo, who studied botany and zoology at university, later received a doctorate in plant ecology, started to shift his focus to politics in the 1990s. In 1997, he took a gamble and ran for the parliamentary seat of the Elizabeth North Constituency, which he won. He rose through the ranks and was re-elected as a member of parliament in 2002. He was acquitted of corruption charges in 2011 and in 2013 was tried alongside then President Kenyan at the International Criminal Court, accused of crimes against humanity for stoking ethnic violence following the 2007 elections. However, the charges were later thrown out. There were predictions that we won't get here, but here we are, Udo declared in his victory speech on Monday. The father of six, who is a fiercely religious leader, took the opportunity to recite verses from the Holy Bible and praise God. He said, I wanted to confess that I have been prayed into victory. Udo calls his supporters hustlers, and he described himself as hustler-in-chief. He has promised a break from the dynasties that have dominated Kenyan political landscape since independence, like the Odingas and the Kenyans. Odinga's father was a former vice president and outgoing president, Uhuru Kenyatta. Father, which is Jomo Kenyatta, was the country's first president in 1963. Odinga, a former prime minister and opposition leader, has spent a quarter of a century vying for the presidential spot, running 5 times. He has said this will be his final contest. It was a bitter battle to the end of the former foes 10 allies, 10 foes again. A fight broke out. The results were delayed for several hours, and 4 out of the 7 electoral commission officials disputed chairman or fuller Chikati results, describing them as opaque. Odinga's coalition rejected the results before they were even announced, but Udo was eventually announced winner with 50.49% of the votes. Odinga later doubled down, saying on Tuesday that in his coalition view, there is neither a legally or validly declared winner nor a president-elect. Udo has faced several others en route to landing Kenya's top job. He first declared his intention to run for president in 2006, but lost his party's nomination. Again, in 2013, he declared his candidacy for the presidency, but he set aside the ambition, joining forces with Kenyan to form the Jubilee Party and running with him on a joint ticket. They emerged winners in that election and were sworn in as president and deputy president in April 2013 for a term of 5 years. However, the pair had fallen out in 2018, and while he retained the title of Kenyan deputy president, Udo lost most of his powers and responsibilities. Kenyatta ended battling for the presidency, opting for Odinga instead. Udo's win has not been a resounding mandate, and will come under pressure to provide solutions to Kenyan pressing economic problems, including going debt, high food and fuel prices, and mass youth unemployment. Many disillusioned voters stayed away from the polls, with turnout at 64.6% of the registered voters, compared to the 79.51% in the 2017 elections, according to the latest preliminary data from the Independent Election and Boundaries Commission. We commend the active participation of Kenya's political parties, civil society, and citizens in the shaping of a robust discussion throughout the campaign period. We applaud the efforts of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, security forces, and all electoral institutions to organize a peaceful and orderly voting and counting process. This is an important milestone in the electoral process, we urge all parties to work together to peacefully resolve any remaining concerns about this election through existing dispute resolution mechanisms. We all ask political parties leaders to continue to urge their supporters to remain peaceful and refrain from violence. Pursuant to Article 106 of the Kenyan Constitution, provide that there shall be a speaker of each House of Parliament, that is the National Assembly and the Senate, who shall be elected by both houses in accordance with the standing orders from a one person who are qualified to be elected as Member of Parliament, but not as such members, and that the office of the Speaker shall become vacant when a new House of Parliament first meets after an election. Long-serving legislator and former cabinet minister, Honorable Moses Masika is the new Speaker of the National Assembly. Honorable Utangwala, who was running for the position against the Speaker of the National Assembly in the 10th Parliament, Honorable Kenneth Mawende sailed through in the first round after Honorable Mawende withdrew from the race just as the second round was about to commence. Honorable Utangwala has gathered 250 votes against Honorable Mawende's 110 in the first round. Honorable Utangwala brings to the National Assembly a great wealth of experience, both as a legislator and a long-serving member of the cabinet. He first joined Parliament as a nominated MP in 1993. He was later elected as Sawesia MP for 3 consecutive terms before he was elected the first senator of Bungoma County in 2013. He retained his Senate seat in 2017 and has just been elected as the same position in just concluded general election before he quit to run for the election as Speaker. During his stint in Parliament, before the promulgation of the new Constitution, he also served as a Minister for Foreign Affairs from 2008 to 2010, and from 2011 to 2012 as a Minister for Trade, and as a Minister for Trade from 2012 to 2013. In the race for the position of the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Gladys Jacosi Bosholi beat the DAP legislator, Honorable Fahamali, to clinch the seat after gathering 198 votes against 139 for Honorable Farah. Honorable Farah, however, withdrew from the race, sending the House a second round of voting. For both positions, a candidate requires to third in the first round and a simple majority in the second round, where only the 2 top contenders are eligible to run. Honorable Sholi joined the August House in 2017 after she was elected as a county woman representative for Usain Bushi County. She retained her seat in the recent polls. Deputy Speaker Sholi becomes the second woman Deputy Speaker in the history of the National Assembly after the late Dr. Hon Jones Amegashie-Viglo. A seasoned lawyer and a former Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, she brings a varied experience in public service into the leadership of the National Assembly. Senators were sworn in, and thereafter they overwhelmingly voted for Sen. Amasin Kingi Jeffa as the Speaker of the 4th Senate for a term of 5 years in the 13th Parliament. In his median speech, Senate Speaker Sen. Amasin Kingi Jeffa encouraged the senators to embrace the spirit of revolution. He said, and I quote, "I am delighted by the rich blend of membership of the 4th Senate, drawn from the former members of the National Assembly, governors and members of county assemblies. I know that 9 former members of the National Assembly and 4 members of the county assemblies have joined the Senate, while some have returned after the hiatus." Thank you. House. The Speaker said that the Senate was fortunate to have a guidance of professionalism joining the Senate, including top legal minds, no less than a senior counsel, scholars, doctors, renowned members of the civil society, among others. Speaker said, Asogli reminded the Senate that the August House, the Senate of the regime, work system, and coherence of the key processes that have gradually boosted revolution implementation. The Speaker quoted American writer and political commentator Walter Lippmann, who postulated that the final test of a leader is that he leaves behind other men the convictions and the will to carry on. We salute both the Right Honorable Ekwe and Right Honorable Kenneth Lusaka and their leadership team for their remarkable contribution. The Lord and Clerk of the Senate, Mr. Jeremiah Ngei, and his team for their unwavering and steadfast support for making the appropriate preparation for the momentous occasion. The Speaker welcomed and associated himself with the positive spirit exhibited and pronouncement made by newly elected governors to change their strategies of engagement and work more closely with the Senate. The National Assembly and the national government, in addition, he noted the pledge. Lauded the clerk and Senate, Mr. Jeremiah and his team for their welfare and steadfast support for making the appropriate and preparation. In addition, they pledged the commitment that will testify the fight against corruption. The Speaker concluded by stating that Kenya should not fail out. It is now time to put behind us our political rivalries, will our states, and together focus on building the new Kenya that we all desire.
Yes, we'll take comments from Honorable by itself. And then we'll have Honorable Judge to give his comments. Yes, the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Victor myself. Mr. Speaker, I believe statement and a brief statement is not a manifesto. So the next person who contribute to that.
Thank you very much. Honorable Judge. Honorable Judge, son of your house.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My experience on the statement that we've heard now, I think I agree with Honorable Member. Actually, I don't know the name anyway. What he said is true. Statements are not history. I think so. You have to be specific in writing your statements. Other than that, you will be off the road and come back. Then you realize that people will find it difficult to understand your statements. It is good to share ideas or to tell about the history of governance. But I think let us be specific on what we are asked to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to make a comment on the statement being read. No, the very long statement that has been read by Honorable Adamu Osman, MP for Attor. It is very important to know that the Kenyan system, the electionary system of Kenya is very rigid than that of Ghana. In Ghana, anybody who deems to win must have 50+1 votes as stated in the Constitution. But in Kenya, you must win 50 plus 1, and in addition, you must win more counties. Kenya call their regions counties, and they have 47 of them in Kenya. So in Ghana, we have 16 regions. So in order for you to win the presidency in Ghana, it is presumed you must win more regions. For example, in the 2016 election, the NPP won by just a few of 5 regions, because Asogli regime gave them about 1 million plus votes. So it summarized everything and they won. Other than that, NPP should have been able to win, let's say, 6 regions out of the 10 regions. In 2024 election, if whoever will be winning must win more regions. So that is the situation in Kenya. He even forgot to add that the issue went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court took only 3 days to deal with the issue, and Ruto was declared president. Other in Ghana, in 2013, it took us more than 8 months to deal with the issue. But it is very important for us to know that the 2 countries have different cultures and different systems of approaching issues. And it is very important that we notice that. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Honourable members, I myself have been following, not the election, but I've been following the inauguration of the 13th Parliament of Kenya. That day I was just watching on YouTube to see how they elect their speaker, and then speaker of both the National Assembly and then the Senate. Indeed, the new Senate speaker was a former governor. Over there, their Senate supervises the counties and then the county assemblies, and then the National Assembly focuses on the national government, and in other places it's different. So indeed it went well, and then I think because I'm a speaker, I'm more interested in the speakership issues. So Right Honorable Jeffa Amazon Kingi as the new Senate Speaker, and then Right Honorable Moses Wetangula as the new Speaker of the National Assembly. They only have 1 Deputy Speaker, so that is it. Honorable, thank you very much for your statement, and then we are happy. For them, their tenure is 5 years. Unlike Ghana, theirs is 5 years, so we wish them the best in their endeavors. Honorable members, the last 2 statements are within one subject matter. They are all on United Kingdom. One is on the new Prime Minister, and then the other is on the demise of Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth. So on that note, I would like us to take it jointly, and because it is on one situation, I would like them to be brief, because it is a news that we all know. So I would like both the readers of the statement to be brief and give us the highlights of each of them. So the minority leader will give a statement on the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Then right after that, we'll hear the Deputy Majority Leader to give a short statement on the demise of the Queen of England. Microphone, please. Microphone to the minority leader.
Mr. Speaker,
I thank you very much for the opportunity given me. My name is Kofi. Glad to deliver that statement. Mr. Speaker, Conservative Party leader Strauss is Britain's new Prime Minister after Boris Johnson resigned. Mr. Speaker, she was appointed on Tuesday, 16 September 2022, before the demise of the great monarch Queen Elizabeth II. Mr. Speaker, in her first speech as leader outside the 10 Downing Street, Mr. Speaker, she stated a few very important things that she wanted to do during her tenure of office. Mr. Speaker, I begin with a quote of her statement. She said that she would get Britain working again, and that she is bold to restore the economic status of the country and cut taxes and bring in some few other reforms. Mr. Speaker, in addition, she also stated that she would deal hands on the energy crisis caused by Putin's war, as many Britons worry about how they will be able to heat their homes in this coming winter. The 10th priority she stated was the fact that she is going to deal with the nation's delegate healthcare system. Mr. Speaker, the Trust government is expected to deal with an energy crisis and a soaring inflation currently at 10%, driven by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Mr. Speaker, repercussions of the COVID-19 pandemic and Brexit are also other vitals that she is yet to combat. Thank you.
Honorable Sir.
You know, for top marshal, say you can't pick. If you manage to get, you can give me. Very simple. Yes, very simple. Please
Thank you, Attor, Speaker, guidance as I respond to the initial member, but then before getting questions. I'll be brief, Mr. Speaker. Queen Elizabeth II was born on 21st of April 1926 to 8th September 2022. They had 4 children, Charles, Anne, Andrew, and Edward. When her father died in February 1952, Elizabeth, a 25-year-old, became queen of the 7 independent Commonwealth countries, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. On 8 September 2022, Buckingham Palace announced that Elizabeth was under medical supervision at the Balmoral Castle after doctors expressed concern. The statement read, following her final evaluation this morning, the Queen's doctors are concerned for Her Majesty's health and have recommended she remain under critical medical supervision. Her death was confirmed that evening at 18:30 BST, setting Operation London Bridge, and because she died in Scotland, Operation Unicorn. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Minority Leader and Deputy Majority Leader. Honourable members, the floor is open for comments on the 2 statements. Honourable Majority, you want to give comments?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear Majority Leader, please.
Comment on your own.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and the guest. Mr. Speaker, my comment probably may not be too pleasing to everyone, but I will say it anyway. That particular attitude of we Ghanaians especially celebrating people after they die must be looked at. All of you seated here have never posted my picture on status any day and said anything good about me, but presumably never to happen. I die today. Even people who don't know me, who have not even met me before, who have even not spoken to me before, will post me on their status and they say, Honorable Mamana was a fine boy. Honorable Amanda and Meanwhile, you have not spoken to me before. And last, Thursday or Wednesday, when did she die? On a Thursday, on the status of everybody was posted Queen Elizabeth's death. Really? How? We don't know her. And me on a normal day, this statement even shouldn't have been taken by Parliament in the first place. Because in 1952, prior to 1957, before Ghana became independent, she was the overlord of Ghana. And then we all saw what happened. In South Africa, the apartheid system that happened in South Africa until 1992. She presided over that. So why must Africans be jubilating and celebrating her death? For what? Britain and UK has no gold mine or diamond mine, but the crown of Queen Elizabeth holds one of the largest diamonds in the world. From where? South Africa. So Africans celebrating Queen Elizabeth's death for what? That very day, Ghanaian old comedian Baba Spirit, who one way or the other had contributed to the growth of the economy, died. Nobody posted him.
And it is becoming unbecoming of us. And it is very sad that probably today, some meaningful Ghanaians somewhere contributing to the local economy somewhere probably might have died. You see how the media has counted the image of the DCU for Krachi East Constituency. Which of the media houses done similar to Queen Elizabeth, amounting to all the things she had done to Africans in those time past? But we demonize our own and celebrate others. Meanwhile, it's supposed not to be so. So I'm calling on all Ghanaian youths, most especially we seated here, that we should celebrate our own while we are alive. And me, I've been saying it to my fellow grandchildren. Today, maybe probably this year, our grandma will be 96 years old this year. I've been calling every now and then that we should host a party for her probably before she dies. If that doesn't happen and she dies, any cloth, any contribution, me, I won't take because it makes no sense. Excuse my language. Because you don't expect me to contribute 200 cents to buy a car, to kill and give somebody probably who have not met her before to come and eat. Meanwhile, she's starting today probably to feed. And we must look at that. Majority of us seated here has been disrespecting our parents. Yeah, brother. Yeah. Today, when she dies, we will come and post it on our status and say all the sweet things about our mother. Meanwhile, while she was alive, we have not done whatever it needs to be done for her. So that attitude must be looked at. But me, I don't see anything worth celebrating the death of Queen Elizabeth. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Member for West Central.
Thank you for the extra statement. Only in the majority.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes, which one am I looking?
okay.
Thank
you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to tell my majority leader to take it easy, because if it is living like this, what will he do if our president doesn't know of donating to other countries who get into crisis, meanwhile our own country here, when there's crisis, for example, the SAP, what happened at the SAP, the TEZA waves. But was it France, the president, what happened then? Our president went to bring some big donation. And I am not concluding yet. I am very sure our president is going to make a big donation to the royal house. Yeah, so what will our majority? But it's already big. And he loves the president so much. So what will be a reaction? I want to put that question to him.
This is the first thing after him. Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Speaker, irrespective of whoever is whoever, whether my grandfather or not my grandfather, excuse my language, it will make no sense contributing to them. What do they do that money for? Our economy is always struggling. If not at all, Britain is having one of the strongest economy in the world. And if on any day, President Attor donating to what's the name? Cathedral that got burnt in France some time ago, it is a special donation, not from us. And if it is from Ghana, we will call him out and tell him that we have schools under trees. Majority of the schools, even Hon University, we don't have desks in our classroom. We should donate those books so that we construct desks for the students to learn. And it is very important to know that my only issue is that I don't see anything worth celebrating the death of Queen Elizabeth. To me personally, as an African and a Pan-African, I don't see anything worth celebrating, because if you should go back into history, currently, I want to give a brief example so that you understand. On Friday, talking on Friday was very bitter because Honorable Kennedy Japon visited him in his palace and then he sacked him. All because probably of an insult that he made towards him some time ago. If an insult can result in this, how long slave trade, stealing and looting our artifacts and resources, and killing our own people, making our own people useless and the kind, and the person who presided over that, we are rather celebrating that person. I beg to differ. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Francis Kofi. Is it Kofi?
Koji. He's not home. Come and see me for the mini. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't have much statement to make. I just want to support what my honorable majority leader was saying, because it is about time we start celebrating our own people to celebrate other people. I believe our leaders should take our tax, fly out of this country all in the name of the death of the Ghanaians. And that has not been tolerated and has not been accepted as Ghanaian youth that are going, and we should be taking note of this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, then we have it. I'll get to the leaders. Honorable Second Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I respond to the name Vanessa Pedisasasi. In life, when you are able to make an achievement, you should be celebrated. When Rollins died, we all had a pain at heart, and we celebrated for his achievements. So it's understandable if we celebrate somebody that is dead because of her achievements. And also, I'd like to make another statement on this truth appointment as a Prime Minister. I really appreciate how far the world is going with ladies or women in leadership. It is my greatest happiness that as we are going there with the upcoming young ones, we also avail ourselves and understand to take leadership position and not abuse it. So that is my statement on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Wilson.
Thank you, Speaker in the House. My name is Big Bright. Mr. Speaker, I want to comment on the system. Before I say anything, let me thank the majority that, yes, we cannot live by the standards of our past, but it's time for us to move on. The person is there, I believe that's an eternal lesson. It was that very Thursday that we can all celebrate it. After that, I don't believe anymore celebrating it any longer. Maybe that will be now, we believe that, yes, that's the opinion, but not the mind. Mr. Speaker, one thing that's driving the most is the way their kingship procedures. They pay much respect to the Queen more than anybody. Or we move to Africa, like he said, anybody can just open his mouth and they saw the king and go around with it. Just because of the 30 years of democracy that they're enjoying. He is doing us a great service in Africa. But I believe if you go to Togo now, maybe they have an autocratic small democracy. You cannot stand anybody, you saw the president. But looking at the British Kingdom, you dare not. Recently, I was watching that documentaries. Other than that, I wouldn't have cast my mind back to years when as the British colony, King George and all those. Even though the violence has happened, but it's time for us to move on so that at the end, the better than that we want will be achieved. And also, if you also say that the Queen is not worth celebrating, I believe the Commonwealth in which all head of state are in. Look at the small honor that we are going, even though we can rely on ourselves, but at least it things become difficult. You run to them and take some notes. For instance, the system, I believe last year, that's why we went to go to borrow money. This sign on highway work. So what I want to say is that yes, we cannot live by the shackles of our past. It has happened. So you just have to move on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Solomon Babo. Oh, before we listen to Solomon, let's listen to his counterpart. He has not spoken so far. So Honorable Hubert. Honorable Hubert. Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I respond to the name Hubert. Alright. Whether celebrating the Queen Elizabeth or not celebrating, I think one thing for us to learn that we are not going to that parties. Before her demise, she was part of the plan about how she will be buried. Where in Africa or Ghana or Otani, when the person dies, before we spend like a month planning on how to bury and then planning on how to share the person's stuff. Queen Elizabeth will be buried just 12 days after her death. But in Ghana or in Africa here, you spend much on the dead than even when the person was alive. So one thing I want is, as we are learning from what the world, we are learning from other people, other countries also, we have to take these key things into consideration, whether we should celebrate it or not. But they've done something that is worthy towards emulate. So we should just also learn how to plan when we are also in this world. We plan because what we might not know what will happen in the next moment. So let us plan our life for what we might not expect in the next moment. Thank you very much.
Minority leader, we hear the last comment from the Deputy Majority Leader.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's quite unfortunate that the Honorable Mixon took the words right out of my mouth. Mr. Speaker, in as much as I agree to a great length on what the Majority Leader appreciated, I feel that resentment in one way or the other concerning past events should be left in the past. He's almost said everything. I will just highlight a few things that the young youth MP stated. Mr. Speaker, the fact that we render assistance to other nations when they are in help goes beyond what we need in our country. Mr. Speaker, the aid we render to other nations goes to a long end to determine the aid we receive. Trust me, we have received more from other nations than we have given. And it is very expedient that whether from private coffers or public coffers, if other countries are in aid, the little we can do to assist them is very, very important. Mr. Speaker, I want to waste much time on the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker in the August House. I respond to the name Solomon Bob. I'd like to summarize every statement we made. Thank every MP for the statement and then for everything they've done for us together. Mr. Speaker, I just would like to draw attention that our interpreting is ready. We are far behind time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, we have heard the comments on the new United Kingdom Prime Minister and the demise of Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. May I state that Her Royal Majesty has served in that capacity for 70 years, and then under her reign, she had among 14 US presidents. 14 US presidents had their tenure during her reign, and she also had 15 prime ministers. Out of that 15 prime ministers, 3 were female, including just the recent one that she appointed. It was like she was just waiting to appoint the 15th prime minister, and she passed on. Because she did the appointment just 3 days after she passed on. Yes, indeed, she has done well. Yes, the past is the past, and I think we have to reconcile with it. However, they have our gold. That is a fact. They have our gold. Just today, they were conveying her body in a motorcade from Scotland to London. And the funeral plan is ready. She was involved in the planning. The entire operation is called Operation London Bridge is down. Whatever is to be done from day 1 to the time she be buried has already been planned. Yes, almost immediately she clocked like 60, they started that plan. In fact, it was being stated that the people to make the announcement, the clothes that they wear has already been budgeted for and then put down there. You cannot broadcast the death of the Queen with anything other than black. So about 20 years ago, Operation London Bridge is down was already planned. So indeed, the burial will be done very soon. And then now, her successor is King Charles III. The new heir to the Queen is Prince Williams. So as a Commonwealth country we cannot take that out of it because they are part of our past, and then she's actually the most powerful monarch and world leader. She comes even before the US president. She's the most powerful, virtually the most powerful person who lived. And now it is King Charles III. Honourable members, as former, not to say, let me just state that since it is more of sympathizing, we have to observe some seconds in her favor. So honourable members, let's briefly stand up and observe some second silence in her favor.
Majority. Mr. Speaker, it's a disrespect for the majority.
Honourable members, we are observing silence. May the soul of the Royal Majesty, Queen Elizabeth III, Monarch and Queen of the United Kingdom, and other states that she is the head of state, rest in the bosom of the Almighty God. Honourable members, before we suspend, we'd just like to hear something short from Honourable Evangelist Stanley Adi, who came from afar as an MP as well to take his oath. And let's hear something short from him before we suspend the House for our refreshments. Microphone, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is just, what do you call it? We've had lots of statements and comments in the House. But before I would go to my honorable majority leader, as members of Parliament, we are leading, and as my honorable member of Parliament said, we should know that as we are celebrating others, tomorrow we will also be celebrated. So the way you celebrate somebody today, the same way you be celebrated tomorrow. Let's put that at the back of our mind. Mr. Speaker, I will hit on two things. One, I will talk about the education system of our country. Then two, the religious part. Then finally, I will talk about leadership. But first, I will talk about leadership. Since we are holding these positions, we might think it that we are just doing this, but we are preparing ourselves towards a higher position there. I know most of us here are into political parties and we are having political ambitions. My honorable majority leader said something that when Honorable Kennedy Japan came around, he was teased away. If he had it at the back of his mind that respect is reciprocal, he would have respected the higher authority. Today, he would have been respected. But he thought he had all it takes, so he didn't respect. So today, he's suffering. Leadership is not about selfishness and hypocrisy. But to get into leadership is about selflessness, service, and dedication. When you are appointed or called into leadership office, irrespective of who you are, what you have, you go to the level of your followers in order for your followers to walk with you. Let's remember this. Those we meet when we are ascended are the same people we meet when we are descended. So when you respect them today, tomorrow they will respect you. Let's keep that. Now let's come to the education system. Me being an educationist, I will talk about education. In fact, we've said a lot about Queen Elizabeth and the European countries. But let's look into our own. My honorable, I don't know the name, my beautiful honorable lady, made a statement that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana now, currently the President of the Republic of Ghana, is making donation outside whilst we are suffering. And you would be surprised that the caskets of Queen Elizabeth will bite. Whilst we are here suffering, he will go and buy it, prepare everything for the funeral, but we are in this country suffering. Now the education system, we are training. My honorable majority leader will come to you.
Honorable, yes, the majority leader wants to make a comment on your. But is that the international sign of order? Okay, the majority leader wants to put it to order. Let's hear from you. The microphone is very good.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and House. Mr. Speaker, I rise to the honorable member that this is the House of Record Keeping. And under no circumstance or no record whatsoever is under camera that the President of the Republic of Ghana is under record going to procure a casket and going to undertake the funeral of a dead queen. A platform has been provided for political propaganda and the likes. So I would like my honorable member to tone down and make his statement accordingly as he's supposed to do it. Not that probably I'm not happy, but the statement he's making is not the facts. And it has not been recorded anywhere whatsoever. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable, please, just before this particular issues, just go straight to
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And to my honorable majority leader, I thank you very much for correction. But what I want to say is, as youth MPs, I would urge that we all come together, do a lot of things to build the education system of our country. Education, I know and I've heard, that is the backbone of this country. But now, should education be the backbone of this country, should we use education as the backbone of this country, we will have a lot of people having spinal cord problem. Because our education system is very bad and very poor. So I will urge all youth MPs to do whatever we can in our power to also support, build the education system. Now we go to the religious part. We've heard a lot. Let me state it clearly. Maybe this honorable majority leader will bear with me about the national cathedral. We've had a lot of money spent into this national cathedral, which to me as a theologian and as a man of God, it doesn't make sense to me. Never makes sense to me. I have my ministry, I have my temple. I have nothing doing in that called the National Cathedral. The money spent in that building, which now they are not even able to complete anything build the education system of this country. Majority Speaker said something when he was talking, that even the technical university here, they lack desks. I'm very happy he, as the majority leader, made that statement that they lack desks, but they are building cathedral for churches who already have their buildings. So we urge that so many things should be suspended, and we should look right into the future. We have kids who are growing up. They are the future generation of this country. We are raising generation of vision and power, which we need to invest into them. But I won't go there because I'll be attacked. Money has been spent where we are not getting anything profitable. So we, assuming this office, we are starting from here. As I said, we here, we have our political affiliations, and most of us here are having political ambitions. What we see out there, if we are happy with it, when we assume power as politicians for this country, we will do the same. So if we are not happy, and now that we are not there, we speak against it. When we assume power, that mindset will be there, and we'll do things right. I really love it, Mr. Speaker, when you said the Queen is the most powerful person. It is true. The Queen is the most powerful person, because the Queen will never stop an overhead bridge in London and come to Ghana and build an overhead bridge for Ghana. But we have political leaders in this country who will buy cars, send it out there, and leave people walking barefooted. Once we need this cars here in this country. So if things can be done, then things should be done right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Since we spoke on education, it seems our incoming chair on the education committee wants to act to it. So let's get the bill and suspend the house. Yes, Honorable President.
Thank you, Speaker House. My name is Petitions. Mr. Speaker, we are all heard our honorable member, but speaking to three of the issues. He said education is the backbone of our country. No. It can be a sample, but it can never be the backbone of our country. Agree. Because I'm sure if you are angry, you cannot go to school. So,
are you a key member of chair?
I'm just proving my point.
Okay.
And also, when you talk about the national capital, I believe you should have made this point nicer than saying that he, as a religious person, it doesn't make sense to me. Well, that is good. But what I would expected him to say is that the situation which we find ourselves now does not guarantee us to build the national capital. Whilst we lack nexus, we lack school fees, people haven't paid their arrest, now and things. But go to the future, we need a national cathedral of worship, of which I believe we have the national theatre. That if other people, other countries can watch where we do the national things, I believe we are well with. And also, he said, we need cars, we don't need cars in this country. Yes, we are coming over 300 million. Like we say that if the president is coming over seriously, we bring 5, 10, more than 20 VAT of a small country. We don't need that. We need that money to be channeled to other agencies such as Agric. Now, there's people are not being paid for 10 years. The national service, which I'm also moving to now, I believe that idea, 3 months will not be paid. Mr. Speaker, please do you understand? So I believe he has been disturbed by the nicer ways to everybody.
Yeah. Honorable members, we have to suspend the house to refresh ourselves and then continue with business. So, please, you are reminded that when we suspend, the clerks would share your refreshments to you. If you have not taken if you have not signed the oath book, please come and sign during that period and take your appointment letters. In that one accord, the House is accordingly suspended for 10 minutes for us to refresh ourselves. Honourable members, welcome back from our suspension. We'll proceed straight to item 10, petitions. Honourable members, if you have a petition, the floor is yours. Yes, minority leader, let's give him the microphone.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity
given me. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of some of my minority MPs, Mr. Speaker, I would like to file a petition of pardon on behalf of Hon Jones Amegashie-Viglo, MP for Adenta Constituency, Asogli, MP for Untitled Constituency, Deferment of Items, MP for Lower Manya Constituency, Asogli, MP for New Constituency, Ahadi Shire Constituency, I have no Emilia, Upper West Constituency, Agbezuke Lieutenant for Old Catamaran Constituency, Adelakwe Dojijela, Ascenso Constituency, Zaid Seydu Mohammed, Boatiano, Amamfo Constituency, Ahu, Adriana, that is for Okaikwe North Constituency, Akoto Kofi Elijah, Okaikwe Central Constituency, and then that of Lamujo Bush Children for Fantiaqua South Constituency. Mr. Speaker, due to reasons beyond their control, they actually were unable to make it here, and I therefore filed this petition of pardon on their behalf. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, any comments on the petition? In the absence of any comments, I hereby defer the petition to the Petitions Committee for deliberation and report to the House. Honourable members, are there any other petitions? In the absence of any, we'll move straight to commencement of public business. Item 11, accounts on the inaugural sitting. The accounts on the inaugural sitting was handled by the movement, so we'll allow one of our deputy directors to present the accounts to us. Microphone to him, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity, and I would like to employ all the MPs who have the income and expenditure account for the inaugural sitting to follow what I presented. So when we look at the income column, we realize that we have two donations, one from Honorable James Flolu Etona and one from Honorable Peter Kote, summing up to 3,000 cedis. And Honorable Elizbeth will also made a donation of 50 cedis. So all summing up to 3,050 cedis. Per the inaugural levy that was laid to MPs to pay, we had 36 MPs paying 20 cedis, amounting to 720 cedis. 3 MPs paying 21 cedis, amounting to 63 cedis. 2 MPs paying 25 cedis, amounting to 50 cedis. 2 MPs paying 30 cedis, amounting to 60 cedis, and 1 MP paying 50 cedis. When you sum all it up, the inaugural levy amounts to 943 Ghana cedis. So summing the donations and the inaugural levy amounts to 3,993 Ghana cedis. So we zoom to the expenses column. So we have two columns of the expenses, one before the inaugural and one after the inaugural ceremony. So the deposit we made for the rooms for the clerks and the deputy amounts to 1,001 Ghana cedis. The backdrop that we used for the inaugural amounts to 248 Ghana cedis. The printout, which is the letters, the brochure, and the letters that have been printed amounting to 110 cities. Refreshment for MPs and observers amounted to 204 cities. Refreshment for our invited guests, Honorable Peter, Honorable Divine, and then the guest that came with him amounted to 70 cities. Bottled water and sachet water amounted to 26 cities. Bought electricity for the JCR that we had amounted to 21 cities. Bought batteries for microphones amounted to 30 cities. Envelopes and pens for the clerk's table amounted to 25 cities. And then fuel for the airhouse. The fuel bought for the car to convey our materials up and down the sound, the roads, and amounted to 130 cities. So summing all together at the first expenses amounted to 1,974.4 Ghana cedis. So these were the expenses that were made after the inauguration. The tripod stand that we have here, taking a beautiful video, amounted to 470 cedis. The videography amounted to 350 cedis. Photography amounted to 150 cedis. The certificate that have been printed and that some are on the table currently amounted to 130 cedis. And then we paid 50 cedis to the designer who designed the certificate, inaugural flyers, and even the flyer that we have for this particular treaty, all amounting to 1,150 cedis. So putting together the first expenses, which is 1,974.4 plus 1,150 cedis, amounting to 3,124.4 Ghana cedis. So taking expenses out of the income relieves a surplus of 868.6 Ghana cedis. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Deputy Director. Now, members, any comments on the accounts made during the inauguration? Okay, Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, in the August House, I thank
Please use the microphone.
Mr. Speaker, in the August House, I thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I'm demanding to see that, in fact, unlike other youth parliaments, Mr. Speaker, we are very good on what we receive, even though, to be sincere, nothing comes to us in terms of funding. The letters that we receive in terms of donation, and then the levies that were collected, Mr. Speaker, have been actually put to good use, for which I commend your House. Mr. Speaker, with that said, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments on the accounts? Yes, Honorable Charles.
The right Honorable Speaker.
Hello, the right Honorable Speaker in the House. I want to talk about the inaugural levy. Things I saw on the page, we have about 99 MPs, and the account here carries 44 fast. Little I know about accounting and global concept. You don't just account for what you have received. There is a debt portion of your income. So far so good. In as much as we've not even received it. Even today I saw at the table monies were asked before we took the appointment letters. And those going forward will be accounted for, and I believe should be captured as part of the debt owed to this House. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the information. To be welcome. Any other commentary on the accounts? Okay. In the absence of any further commentaries, I believe this is a reflection of the expenses made on the inauguration. And honourable members, I want to encourage you all, the youth MPs, to pay the levy, because that is what we'll be running with. We don't take dues or anything. We levy, and then it's that levy that runs us, with us adding some little money to it. So please, the leaders, encourage your MPs to pay. The whips, use the whips. The whips are supposed to whip them to order. So please, the leaders, use the whips. I think we'll be fine. So, In the absence of any further commentary on the accounts, these are the true reflections of the accounts of the inauguration of the second Parliament of Ifeanyi Parliament, held on the 30th of August 2022, and the accounts as of 24th of August 2022. Honourable members, we move to item 12. Honourable members, item 12, report of the Committee on Selection. There is a procedure for presenting reports to this House, and we will follow that procedure. First of all, I'll call the majority leader to lay the report before the House and then to be seconded. Honourable members, take note that laying a report is not subjected to debate, neither is a question report. So, majority leader, please lay the report to the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Address. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move a motion for the report on the Committee of Selection to be laid on the floor for consideration. Thank you very much.
Second, minority leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
With the motion being moved, Mr. Speaker, I rise to second. Thank you very much.
Honourable members, the report of the Committee of Selection has been laid and it is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, moving on, we'll go straight to the adoption of the report. The chairperson, but since I'm presiding, I can't do so. So the majority leader would read the report to us and move that it should be adopted. After it's been moved to be seconded, and then right after that, we'll debate the report before we put the question on approval. So the majority leader would read the standing committees, their chairs and ranking, and minority leader as also part of the committee will take care of the select committee and then their chairpersons for us. Majority leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and Address. Mr. Speaker, these are the members of the 16 standing committees of the second Parliament. We have the appointment committee that is chaired by Honourable President and ranking member to the Honourable Demise. We have the business committee with 9 members being chaired by my good self, Honourable Madina, and having a ranking member to be Honourable Kofi. We have the education committee having 9 members being chaired by Honourable Son Dixon, and having each ranking member being Honourable Charlotte Obini. We have the entertainment committee having 9 members as usual, and being chaired by Honourable Elizabeth Osman, and has each ranking member to be Honourable Richard Aprego. We have the finance committee having 9 members, chaired by Honourable Charles Farmer, and having each ranking member to be Honourable Brian. We have the Health and Safety Committee being chaired by Honourable Silas Tetadaiti, having each ranking member to be Honourable Wanda Afeti, and as usual, we also have 9 members. We have the Internal and External Affairs Committee being chaired by Honourable Richard Amenye, ranking member to be Honourable Edmond Kekeli Dukuma. We have the Organizing Committee having 9 members being chaired by Honourable Faith Major, having each ranking member to be Honourable Emmanuel Obey. We have the Petitions Committee having 9 members being chaired by Honourable Karen Jr., having Honourable Kenyan Elizabeth as the ranking member. We have the Privileges Committee being chaired by Honourable Vanessa Asasi, having Honourable Bryce Seloma Babo as the ranking member. We have the Publicity and Media Committee being chaired by Honourable Renos Agbenyemu, having the ranking member to be Honourable Joe Ortodako. We have Research and Intelligence Committee being chaired by Honourable Anyanu Erasmus Kofi, having myself, Honourable Nubna, as the ranking member. We have the Special Budget Committee being chaired by Honorable Harriet Senanu Abudi, having Honorable Theophilus Bani as the ranking member. We have the Sports and Games Committee being chaired by Honorable Osman Adamu, having Honorable Gidi Evans as the ranking member. We have the Standing Order Committee being chaired by our Right Honorable Speaker Hon Jones Amegashie-Viglo and our Clerk to Parliament Krachi as the secretary. We have the Welfare Committee being chaired by Honorable Millicent Moko Kwashi, having Honorable Priska Jaka as the ranking member. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for your attention.
Minority Leader, select committees.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, these are the 19 select committees of the Second Parliament of Youth Impact Parliament. Mr. Speaker, each committee is made up of a total number of 5 members. Mr. Speaker, first we have Committee on Alumni Relations, which is chaired by Attor. Mr. Speaker, we also have the Committee on Chieftaincy and Culture, which is chaired by Gossip Agbe. Mr. Speaker, we also have the Committee on Democracy and Good Governance, which is also chaired by Francis Koji. Mr. Speaker, we have the Committee on Election and Election Monitoring, chaired by our Sept. Mr. Speaker, the 5th, we have Committee on Environmental Protection, chaired by Daniel Afuakwa. Mr. Speaker, we have Committee on Foreign Affairs, chaired by Obed Chris Lipo. We also have Committee on Gender, Children, and Social Protection, chaired by Ms. Kendall Elizabeth Mante. Mr. Speaker, we also have Committee on Government Project Monitoring, which is chaired by Bright Harrison. Mr. Speaker, we have Committee on Human Rights, chaired by Innocent Duamipo. We also have Committee on Judicial Affairs, chaired by Joel Watridao. Mr. Speaker, we have Committee on Legal and Legislative Affairs, chaired by Emmanuel Ahianeke. We also have Committee on Peace, Building and Conflict Resolution, which is chaired by Honorable Eric Semenwati. Going forward, Mr. Speaker, we also have the Committee on Religion, Christianity, and Islam, chaired by Honorable Stanley Kojo Kwansake. Mr. Speaker, we have Committee on Road Safety and Transportation, which is chaired by Raymond Eliken Attor. In addition, we have the Committee on Pupil Relations, chaired by George Semelia. Mr. Speaker, we also have Committee on Standard and Cost of Living, chaired by Roger Ayaomi Zombi. I got the name right. Mr. Speaker, we have a Committee on Student Relations, which is chaired by Honorable Samuel Kisi Apedu. We have the Committee on Technological Development, chaired by Sheriff Inaugural. Mr. Speaker, we have Committee on Youth Development, which is chaired by Emmanuel Eden Ahaji. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
So can we second the motion for the adoption?
Mr. Speaker, will this committee should be laid to the House? I am here as Kofi, stand to second the motion moved by the majority leader. I thank you.
Thank you. Majority leader, I believe you moved the motion for the adoption. Okay. Honourable members, motion put. Sorry, there is no question after this because we have to put the question for the adoption before we debate it. Honourable members, motion moved and seconded for the adoption of the committee's report, and now put the question to the House. All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Not in favor say nay. Nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Therefore, the committee report is hereby adopted. Honourable members, debate on the committee, debate on the report. What are your commentaries on the committee placements? Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity given me. The name is Kofi. Mr. Speaker, when our first parliamentary sitting, paramount of the issue that we talked about was availability of members to sittings. Mr. Speaker, in as much as positions have been designated to our honorable members, Mr. Speaker, I believe that indeed the Privileges Committee is going to really work very much actively on members' absenteeism, because we don't want to come and then we find the house empty. The Honorable Kojo, that is a special advisor to the Speaker, did mention on the fact that we should even invite others to come witness how these sittings go on, because it tends to be very educational and very informative as well. So, Mr. Speaker, I'll hand you like to prove us requests or file us requests before your table. Mr. Speaker, we should go a long way to, should I say, create the soul indulgence of our members to indeed patronize our activities and not just have our names in our records, because it's very vital, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Thank you very much.
My minority leader, rightly said about the committees.
Proceed.
Okay, so like I said, position comes with responsibilities. And I believe when I came late, sorry for that, I saw quite a number of people, but after the process, then it's as if, well, I don't know why they did this for, but I'm taxing the political committee, aside that they are the committee that work vigorously to keep in check. Because you see, in the minority, most of the people are going to the majority side as well. So I believe now, the clerk, I don't know what to talk about, they should pray the reason why they did it. If you go to play the agenda, you start making you sign.
Yeah.
So, Speaker, I believe every position comes with responsibility. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honourable members, any further commentary? Okay, Honourable Francis Kofi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank my brother for his statement or comment. But I want to say that relating to people leaving the house, as time goes on, as members of parliament, probably they might have some other businesses that they have to run. So I want to plead that when we come next time, we take other important issues of the house first before other businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. Follow up from Honourable Wilson. Is it correction? Okay, correction.
Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I believe my fellow honorable should have said serious. I don't know which one that is a serious one. Or other people. Every single thing made over is serious business for us. So why should I be expected to say that since you have agreed, nobody forced you. You came from membership. Like the other said, there are 10 people who are willing to occupy it. Any vacancy available. You should make yourself available and stop the flimsy excuse that we have for that. That's why today Sunday, we give 9 days for resting. And you come here. Let's do one for us so that we don't come here maybe. That is, thank you very much.
Thank you. Honourable members, I believe that's all the comments on the Committee on Selection report. I now put the question to the House. All honourable members in favour that these will be our selected standing committees to function throughout the entire life of this second parliament. The question is, all in favour say aye. Aye. Not in favour say nay. Nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Therefore, the committee placements for the second parliament will hereby stand and all committees duly created. Honourable members, item 30 is just brief. The functionality of committees. The committee system is like a small parliament. The chairperson is like a speaker there. You are supposed to hold your meetings before the next sitting. Please go and read your functions in the adopted standing orders and know what to do. From the next sitting, we must start receiving from you all. We must start hearing from you all. The Privileges Committee is one important one that will be really engaging on the task to put committee members and MPs to work. All the other issues will be shared with you later on. So that is just the briefings on the functionality of the parliamentary committee system. Honourable members, moving to item 14 on the order paper. Reading, consideration, and passing of the standing orders of the FIFA Parliament, page by page. Majority Leader. Microphone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Speaker. I beg to move that item 14 be adjourned and added to the next. Deferred. To the third sitting, God willing, next month. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, I have never been more supportive of a motion by the like this one. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion for the deferment of item 14. I thank you.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded for the deferment of item 14 to the third parliamentary sitting. I now pose the question to the House. All honourable members in favour say aye. Aye. Not in favour say nay. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion carries. Therefore, item 14 stands deferred to the third parliamentary sitting. Honourable members, moving to the last part of this sitting, the end of business, item 15, adjournment to the third parliamentary sitting. Let's hear some remarks from Majority Leader and motion for adjournment. Microphone, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Speaker, I want to thank all members present, especially the majority side, for availing themselves for today's sitting. It is very important that as we've taken on the battle to represent our constituencies all willingly, we will take it upon ourselves every now and then to avail ourselves as such. And again, it is very important to know that any other member that will be tasked to do, who will be making a statement on an incident that had happened prior to our sitting, will research and capture it very brief, other than the usual history that we have received today. It is also equally important that we have received that. Other than that, I'm not sure any of us might have known some of the things that we have known, hadn't been that some other members have told it. But notwithstanding that, it is very important that for the purposes of our sitting and the procedure, not to be able to defer items to the next sitting, and in order for us to be able to complete all items on the other paper, we do things brief and short. And again, the time is a factor. That honorable members, when the sitting is supposed to commence at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it also should be noted and taken as such. Some members meeting commenced at 1, as we have said, and some came in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, most especially the minority leader. So we should take this into consideration. Mr. Speaker, without any further deliberation, I solely move that today's sitting be adjourned to further notice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Minority Leader, remarks and seconds.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much. In fact, as usual, Youth Impact Parliament doesn't only give us the informative responsibilities that it discharges, but it gives us insight to entertainment, relaxation, because I believe a lot of BPs or blood pressures today have been relaxed and down. Mr. Speaker, I thank all honorable MPs here. I don't want to be prejudiced like people. I want to thank the majority and the minority caucus for making it a point to be here. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to throw light on the importance of not crossing political boundaries.
bizarre because they weren't supposed to be said. But then going forward, I believe honorable members will take a lesson from that because there are certain statements they shouldn't make in this house, especially those that don't have substantial backings. Mr. Speaker, in light of the above, I also want to highlight one thing that the majority leader spoke on about absenteeism and late coming. In fact, in as much as it was targeted to me, Mr. Speaker, I believe that is a very important concern that we should all take heed of. Mr. Speaker, that notwithstanding, I want to let the majority leader know that for some time he hadn't been to sittings for which I am present. So he should learn from me. Mr. Speaker, with that said, allow my minority progress. Mr. Speaker, that said, I stand to second the motion every moved by the majority leader. I thank you.
Honorable members, motion has been moved and seconded for adjournment of this house. My remarks is that I want to thank you all for coming. European Parliament is the most vibrant house in Ghana, and it comes from whatever we do. As you see today, we had a statesman who came, and we're becoming more and more. This we cannot get at other parliaments. We have our valid position, and it remains as such. So let's keep it that. And I want to thank you all for coming. The newcomers, do not worry, very soon there will be constituencies for you to apply. The observers leave. Honourable members, in that one accord, I want to put the question on the adjournment. Honourable members, motion has been seconded for the adjournment of this House to the 3rd parliamentary sitting. All in favour of the motion, and now put the question to the House. All in favour of the motion, say aye. Aye. Not in favour, say nay. Honourable members, I'll put the question again. All honourable members in favour that the House adjourns to the 3rd sitting, say aye. Aye. Not in favour, say nay. Nay. The motion carries. Therefore, this House stands adjourned to the 3rd parliamentary sitting, date yet to be appointed.